goes out. Heirloom seeds and survival gear. Order by 3 p.m. and your items ship that same day and arrive quickly on your doorstep in unmarked boxes. Go to mypatriotsupply.com today. Time is running out to prepare for what's coming. mypatriotsupply.com.
Have you ever wanted to learn how to make jewelry? How about learning how to design animations or create pottery? This year, explore your future in art with Munson. Munson in downtown Utica offers courses for artists of all ages, interests, and abilities. They also feature art appreciation classes for people more interested in learning than creating. Classes for the winter-spring semester begin in January. So register now at munson.art. That's munson.art.
For a limited time at Mattress Express, qualified buyers will get 60 months to pay on any purchase $1,500 or higher with no money down. That includes all brands of mattresses in the store and massage chairs. See store for details.
Keeler Show today. It's time to read the news and weather. Time to figure out what to say. It's time to turn the channel of the Keeler Show today. Why do we always listen? Keeler's always in the know. It makes me want to call him and tell him where to go. And now let's get things started. Andrew, let's get things started. It's time to get things started. On the most sensational, inspirational, celebrational, Keelerational. This is what we call the Keeler Show.
WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM. This is Keeler.
I don't know if you want me to start with this, but I'm going to anyway. Aaron Rodgers is done on the Pat McAfee show.
Oh, really?
Done.
Wow.
And
is that ESPN's choice? Or
apparently not.
His own.
McAfee is saying, no, McAfee's choice.
Wow.
McAfee is saying that he has complete creative control. And I thought it was quite interesting, and he's absolutely correct. He said, listen, there's free speech. I have free speech. I can say whatever I want. But the reality is, basically what he was saying is Aaron Rodgers was just becoming too much trouble. And
also Pat McAfee has been under fire.
In fact, too much of a distraction. I thought that was very interesting because that's what he will end up being for the Jets next season.
Yeah, I mean, Pat McAfee's ratings at ESPN have been in a little bit of trouble lately.
I'll tell you
he's been under scrutiny.
Here's the reality of that. So they got him because they wanted a younger audience, right? They're going after a younger audience. So what happened is their on-air TV ESPN numbers have gone down. Mm-hmm. Whatever show is on before him, what show's on before?
First Take.
They have twice the amount of viewers. That
it's
McAfee
a good show.
has.
It's a good show.
However, on streaming, when it comes to online streaming, McAfee's blown it out of the water.
Yeah,
so huge numbers on streaming. So ESPN is getting what they want. It's just figuring out the how you're going to pull all of this off. Anyway, he did admit. He said, "Listen, I've said some things that are controversial. But you know what? Here's the thing. Aaron Rodgers just needed to come on and make this go away.
Yeah,
and he couldn't do it. He had to split hairs and try to say, well, I never said he was a pedophile." Well, listen, I know we disagree on this, but I'm right. If you come out and you make that statement, you're putting that thought into people's minds. Wow, is he on the list? Is he one of those that went over there and had sex with underage girls? And you place that thought, and there's the only thing you could place in everybody's minds. It's not like, oh, he's going to be on the list because he was one of the caterers, right? I mean, you're placing that thought in people's minds. And it's completely slanderous with no backing, with no evidence, with no connection whatsoever between the two. You're only doing it because the two of you're angry with him about a joke that he told maybe a couple of weeks ago or maybe a year ago. Anyway, all he had to do for McAfee is just go in there and be like, listen, it's a joke that went south. I was trying to be funny. You know, I certainly apologize, and let's just move on. How hard is that?
It's not. It's not. And he's dealing with it now. He's dealing with the repercussions. But as one commentator said yesterday, if he gets into the starting position and doesn't get injured next year and starts winning in New York, a lot of this will go away.
And that's absolutely right. And if he gets into the starting position and he blanks to bed, it'll be bad.
Yeah,
he'll
have to retire probably after next season.
There's a lot riding on this, right? And I would think that, you know, he's probably got all the money in the world. And listen, let's not forget, Aaron Rodgers was, at the very least, one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. Right?
Yeah, and he'll probably historically go down as one of the best.
As one of the best. There's no doubt about it.
4 MVPs, 1 Super Bowl title, a lot of failed playoff games.
But at the end of the day, and he was money in the bank. I mean, he had all that State Farm stuff. He was all over TV until he wasn't. And it got into the, you know, what do you want to be? Do you want to be an athlete that makes a ton of money and a product, basically, that is sellable, or do you want to get caught up in this crazy stuff with anti-vax crap and all? You want to get caught up in that political garbage. So, especially at a time today where we are, right, where the politics are just so volatile.
Yeah,
is that so? You have to ask yourself the question: do you want to get into that, or do you just want to make money and have fun and play football and do commercials?
I'm glad he's not in Green Bay anymore.
Yeah. Well, listen, I feel I'm so sad that he was injured this year because we could have seen what he could do. But I just kind of feel like it's 1 year later now. So what he could have done this year versus what he can do next year, there's a little, it's diluted by a year.
Yeah.
So where's it all going to go? Does he have one more big season in him? I guess we'll find out.
And almost you wonder if he kept this going because of was he striving for relevance because he's not in the playoffs? He hasn't played this season.
I personally think it's just it's pride.
Yeah.
You know, but you know, what do we know? We don't know. I certainly don't know. Aaron Rodgers dropped as a guest on Pat McAfee's ESPN show for the remainder of the season. That's also interesting. Now, last season he went well into the playoffs with McAfee, I believe. Right? This season, you know, they're saying he's done. Was he going to be done anyway? But here's the announcement that he made. He's made the announcement on the show yesterday. Pat has drawn scrutiny for allowing Rodgers to appear on his show and go into lengthy conspiracy rants. I'm trying to see if I can find audio. This clip is they're using. Maybe I'll play it. They're using artificial intelligence to get him to say something funny, but it's never funny.
No,
is it?
No. But you know what Rodgers was making? I think he was making, I want to say it was like $1 million an episode to appear or something like that.
Yeah, that's incredible.
I mean, just to go on for a quick segment.
And the money they've invested in McAfee is huge.
Yeah.
So, yeah, interesting. So, anyway, that's happening out there. Are you following the weather? We have a very similar storm, they say, on the way Friday into Saturday, where it's going to warm up again. We're going to get heavy rains. And I don't know, are we going to be talking about wind conditions as well? I don't see as much about wind as we do on the rain. However, you see the numbers. It was yesterday you'd received word from someone in Lowville.
Yes.
And the Tug Hill had winds over 70 miles an hour.
Yeah, and then at the Tug Hill windmills were at like almost 80, over 80.
Over 80. Wow. Yeah. So here's what the National Weather Service is saying on winds. The wind gusts in Jefferson County up north, 79 miles an hour. In Chautauqua County, which is down south Long Island area, they had winds of over 75 miles an hour. Fort Drum, 71 miles an hour.
Wow.
I'm trying to look here for Lowville, and they aren't listed here, but that's up there by Fort Drum. So over 70 miles an hour, those winds. Do you know that I believe, and I could be wrong, I think that hurricane winds are a Category 1 hurricane wind speed begins at 74 miles an hour.
Oh, my God.
So we had, at least in the North Country, winds that were higher than a Category 1 hurricane.
That's crazy.
That's pretty wild. Andrew has a story this morning. It's up on our website at WIBX950.com about a woman that was this Sierra store is like.
It's awesome. We've been once before, but we got to get back.
It's kind of a.
I think it's
owned by
Marshall's, TJ Maxx, Home Goods.
Yeah,
and it's more.
But they're kind of taking from Bass Pro Shop.
Yeah, it's like a TJ Maxx version for the outdoors.
TJ Maxx meets Bass Pro Shop.
Yeah, there you go.
Or Herb Phillipson's.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like that type of place.
It's
filled with a lot of
cool.
clothing and all that stuff. Anyway, police say that that two women were in the store, and there became a dispute. Is that the distraction? Is this one of those what do they call it? Smash and grab type things we've seen?
Oh yeah. Well,
so a disturbance.
Break in and steal as many as they can.
A disturbance. It's now the clerks, everybody's looking at the disturbance. Meanwhile, there are people exiting the store with goods and clothing and stuff. So ultimately, a fight ensued out in the parking lot as well, and the vehicle took off. This goes back to November. Police continued to investigate, and they were able to locate one who they believe was involved, and they made an arrest. They made an arrest in, I think you're right. Chautauqua is in western New York. They made an arrest yesterday, arresting one woman who is a 20-year-old.
Riviera Lawrence of Utica.
All right. That story is up on our website at WIBX950.com. This weekend, the sports books, Davey, are pulling for two teams. The Green Bay Packers, two underdogs, the Green Bay Packers and the Pittsburgh Steelers. Did you see the line? You know what the line is on the Bills game right now?
Oh, no, I haven't seen it.
It's 10. 10 or 10.5.
Wow. I think we're 7.5 point underdogs.
So I started looking through the schedule, the Bills' schedule, and their games. I got to tell you something. Can you tell me when the last time the Bills had a blowout game, Davey? I mean, you watch every Bills game.
The Cowboys game.
I would say the Cowboys.
What was the final of that game?
31-13.
Yeah, I guess that was the last blowout. So there's a team, if you look in the last 5 or 6 weeks, every game that's supposed to be a blowout, because that Cowboys game was not supposed to be a blowout.
No.
Every game that's supposed to be a blowout for the Bills is close.
Yeah.
And every game that you'd think is going to be really, really close, well, at least the case of that one, the Kansas City game was really close.
That's kind of how.
But you don't know what to expect out of this team.
Right.
This game could turn out to be a very, very tight game, depending on which Bills team comes out, which Bills offense comes out in the first half.
That's
They're
right.
saying 40-mile-an-hour winds on Sunday, too, down in Buffalo.
Oh, okay.
James Cook has to be more involved, I think, than he was last game.
Yeah.
They got to watch out for who's that Steelers running back now? I'm drawing a blank on his.
Harrison?
Yeah, or no, what's his name? I don't think that.
Nate.
Najee Harrison. Yes, thank you. Mason Rudolph is undefeated as a starter this season at the quarterback position.
Davey, did you say that 14-mile-an-hour winds or 40-mile-an-hour winds?
40.
Wow.
Is it 4-0? Wow.
Did you see that? We've been following that the Golden Globes from the other night, and everybody up in arms over the comedian.
Yeah.
Joe Coy is the comedian who hosted. He was only hired like 2 weeks before the Golden Globes. And don't you think that Taylor Swift, she's getting bad reviews on the way she acted. She just had this sour puss on her face after he told the joke Why don't you just laugh and go along with it?
I know. Well, because she, can't have her image tarnished in any
but
way.
That doesn't what tarnishes your image is having a scowl on your face.
Yeah, right.
And maybe not for the her closest fans, but everybody else is looking like, don't be a jerk. He's just telling jokes.
Maybe
it wasn't even that bad of a joke. It wasn't even that bad.
Maybe she's just a little, and here's the thing, too, and I think this happens sometimes. Maybe she's just a little dippy. Sometimes when you're sitting in a crowd and, you got a comedian up there that's probably not that funny, maybe she's just zoning out and not paying attention.
It's possible.
And, her name gets mentioned, and so instead of, laughing, she didn't hear what was said, and she's like, what? I mean, it happens all the time.
Maybe she's uncomfortable and she didn't know how to act. That's possible, right? She didn't know what to do. But I will tell you this. You're like, who is this Joe Coy comedian? I mean, I've never seen him perform anywhere before.
Has his career improved, or you think it's helped his career?
I don't know. But I went to Ticketmaster, and I'm like, well, where does he perform? Where does this Joe Coy perform? And I started looking, and I see that on March 10th at 7 p.m., he's playing at a place called the Turning Stone Resort and Casino.
Get out!
He's tickets are on sale right now. There are a lot of seats available.
Well, in that you don't say. Well, in that
actually,
case, he's
I'm
very
sorry.
good.
Actually, I'm sorry. There are not a lot of seats available. A good portion of the seats are sold out. Everything up front and center on the floor is sold out, and it's in the event center. So the guy's selling tickets.
Who is
and
this guy?
I would imagine that being in this case being the guy who told the Taylor Swift joke, and she reacted as poorly as she did. I think he can build a bit of certainly a set off that, a few jokes off it anyway. I think that she's giving him a gift by doing this. Anyway, he's selling tickets.
Wow.
I was very, very surprised. I'm like, I've never seen this guy before. And there he is. There he is. What else do I have? I kind of always think about this when I'm sitting on an airplane. You wonder which seat on the airplane is the safest. Where is the safest place to sit if you're on an airplane?
I don't know, like towards the front or middle?
I think the middle is usually where if
the
there's
emergency
a crash
exit rows,
is where if there's a crash is where the plane breaks in half.
Oh, okay.
So I'm not sure you want to be there.
It's a trap, right? They say, "Hey, here's some extra leg room. We want you to be the one responsible for saving everybody."
That is true,
the door.
but I got to tell you, if you're going to be there based on what occurred, I would say you want to make sure you're wearing that seatbelt as often as you possibly can. Anyway, according to the experts, here's the answer. Are you ready?
Yes.
Plane seats are all equally safe, they say.
Oh, of course they are.
But do know what you're getting yourself into. If you're sitting next to an emergency exit, you might have to do something. And you know that planes are set where if there were to be a crash landing, like there was in wherever that was, where the plane came down on top of another plane, a smaller plane, that wasn't supposed to be on the runway, and then it burst into flames.
Yeah, that was in China or Japan?
They were able to, I believe it was Japan, they were able to evacuate that airplane, everyone out within 90 seconds.
Wow, that's crazy.
No one died in that, except for the people, the ones in the smaller airplane. The plane landed on top of them. What do we have? What's going on? Do we have somebody? Do we not? What do you have? I don't have a sheet.
No. I'm finishing the sheet now as we speak.
Okay, you guys are distracting me. I don't know what the hell's going on. All right, let me break while I just settle in. I need a vodka on the rocks. 6:38. It's a Thursday morning at WIBX.
Why get an updated COVID vaccine? If you're 65 or older, a COVID vaccine can keep you out of the hospital. And if you have heart disease, a COVID vaccine can help you stay healthy. With COPD or other lung diseases, getting a COVID vaccine can keep you off a ventilator. Anyone can get severely ill from COVID. But some people are more at risk. Know your risk and make sure you're up to date on your COVID vaccine. A message from the New York State Health Department.
Hey there, it's Andrew from WIBX. If you're facing excruciating pain, whether it be carpal tunnel, knee pain, back pain, whatever it is, there is a revolutionary technology that has arrived in Utica. Forget the injections, forget surgery. Try Revive Softwave Therapy on Genesee Street in Utica. This brand new treatment will help you. It's got a 90% success rate, and it's with Dr. Tim DelMedico. For more information, visit reviveutica.com. That's reviveutica.com.
A lot of Cannoli's energy started to bounce back.
She has a lot of puppy moments, and she'll be 14 this summer.
What did these dog parents do for their dogs? They switched to Nature's Blend, a premium freeze-dried raw dog food made by Dr. Marty Goldstein, a veterinarian Forbes magazine called the Miracle Worker. It's the easiest way to support your dog's easy digestion, nourished skin, playful energy, and most importantly, their healthy, full life.
I'm so confident your dog will love it. Your order is backed with a 90-day guarantee.
Save up to 54% off Nature's Blend and get a free full-size bag of Tilly's Treasures dog treats. They're best-selling beef liver dog treats while supplies last. Go to drmartypets.com/deal or text DEAL to 511-511. Go to drmartypets.com/deal or shop in over 2,000 stores nationwide. Use the store locator to find the store closest to you. All pets are unique. Your pet's results can and will vary. Message and data rates may apply. Studies available upon request.
This station is brought to you by Tallman's Tire, located in Utica, Yorkville, Rome, and Herkimer, and online at tallmanstire.com.
Ready for a smoother, safer ride? Look to Tallman's Tire and Auto Repair, your trusted tire experts. Tallman's and their professional staff is there for answers, advice, and quality tires at a great price. And right now, Tallman's, when you purchase 4 Summit tires, you'll get installation, mounting, and balancing absolutely free. Summit tires are great quality and your best value in Central New York. And free installation when you purchase 4 tires is an amazing deal. Don't miss out. This offer ends January 31st, 2024. Visit Tallman's Tire and Auto Repair in Utica, Yorkville, Rome, and Herkimer. Online at tallmanstire.com.
WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM. This is Keeler.
All right, Mike this morning says on airplanes, they say the middle of the aircraft is the place where you'll experience the least amount of turbulence, which I guess kind of makes sense.
Yeah,
like if you sit in the back of a car versus the front seat of the car, the experience is different. The riding experience is different. I can't imagine why that an airplane wouldn't be a little bit different. You're getting a lot of this now. Door Dashers are getting angry that they're not being tipped.
Really?
Listen, there's a tip already built in, right? And
well, it's your payment, right? You know.
Well, it's a part of the payment, but there's a tip built into it. So, but then you can tip over and above, which we always do. But there's a DoorDash driver who is just getting sick and tired of this whole thing. She was delivering, I believe it was McDonald's to a person's house, and realized they were not tipping. So she wrote a note in the bag that said, "Lucky for you, I didn't bother the food, but next time consider tipping your driver."
That's an uneasy feeling.
It is.
Because then I would never eat anything in that bag.
Correct. Now, turns out, though, when she came to the door and set down the food, all of a sudden the door opened. Now, the woman, it was an elderly woman, had no idea that note had been placed in the bag. The elderly woman handed her a cash tip. So she was being tipped.
Oh, my God.
And now she's screwed because the angry note is in the bag. So what does she end up doing? Turns out she said, no, you don't have to tip me. You don't have to do that. Didn't take the tip. But the woman ultimately opened the bag and read the note. And I have a little audio on that here. Here we go.
Hello.
Ignore it. You keep that.
Why?
Because I didn't see a tip on the app, and I put a little card in there. So please keep that. I'm sorry.
No, I just had cash. Please.
It's okay. It's okay, because it's okay. Thank you.
Have a good night.
You'll see once you bite into your fish fillet.
And then the subsequent 2 hours after.
Keep the tip.
I don't do this DoorDash. I don't do it. You know.
You don't?
Hannah my fiance always wants to get it, and I said, I'll go and pick it up. I just don't trust it. I don't want people going and getting my food for me.
We use it a lot.
I can't do it.
We use it a lot.
I cannot mentally do it.
Massachusetts woman is accused of trying to poison her husband after a scammer pretending to be a soap opera star, Thorsten Kaye of The Bold and the Beautiful, you know that one, Davey, told her to. You realize this? Thorsten Kaye of The Bold and Beautiful told her, poison your husband.
Oh, boy.
You familiar with that soap opera?
I don't watch it, but my mom watches it religiously.
Mom watches it, yeah.
You know what Thorsten Kaye is?
I have no clue.
Your mom knows.
My mom would.
Here are the neighbors talking and speculating about what happened after they heard the news. Here we go.
Like a Lifetime movie. Yeah, when I saw the picture, I was like, oh my gosh, Ridge from Bold and Beautiful. I was like, oh my gosh, what am I reading right now? This cannot be real. What did she use, Was it rat poisoning? Gosh, it's like scary.
Thurston told me to use cyanide, so I used cyanide. This is a very sad day as a product is going away. And I will tell you that this is a product that I loved, but have not had in a long time, so I'm probably to blame.
Okay.
I'm one of the ones to blame because I haven't been buying this product.
You killed it.
I have killed it. I've been one of the ones. This is a product that's been around since 1969, made by the Ferrara Candy Company.
Oh, Ferrero Rocher.
It is Fruit Stripe Gum.
Oh.
Do you remember Fruit Stripe Gum?
Is that the one with the zebra on it?
Yes.
Really?
Davey,
It's going away?
I remember that.
I would have like 4 or 5 pieces because it needed a little extra flavor.
Yeah.
Fruit Stripe Gum has been discontinued after 54 years.
No.
A Ferrara representative said the decision to sunset the product was not taken lightly, and we considered many factors before coming to this decision, including overall brand trends for Fruit Stripe Gum. Apparently, kids don't like the Fruit Stripe.
Well,
listen, if parents would buy it for them.
That's the problem.
It was the one where you had all the different colors, the stripes of colors.
Yeah, it has the orange. It was the orange package with a little zebra on it, and
kind of.
The flavor didn't have a zebra on it.
I don't know.
Oh,
I don't
okay.
know if it was orange.
Right.
Though. It might have been.
But the flavor did not last long. I'll tell you that.
It was not a long-lasting flavor, but who cares? And there was almost a little powderiness to the gum inside the wrapper, I seem to recall. Here's the original commercial.
Oh, it was yellow. Sorry.
Yikes! Stripes! Fruit stripe gum! It's a yummy, fruity one. Stick a stripe of fun with a flying flip-flop. Blow a woo, a pick-pot. Yikes! Stripes! Fruit stripe.
All right, I've heard enough. Okay, now we know why the product's dead. That commercial.
They're annoying.
The commercial would drive people crazy. Mike said, I thought you were going to say Grandma Brown's beans were going away.
Oh, well, that's a whole other issue.
Looks like it might have happened. What is the latest on that? I got to say that my father-in-law has a can of Grandma Brown beans.
Wow, for safekeeping, or he's just
he's had
novelty
he's
item?
had it. He found it in his cupboard, and now he's like, well, what should I do with it?
Save it.
I think
It's
you got
worth a lot of money.
I said, go right to eBay with that. You never know. So the current difficulty with Grandma Brown beans is they're not available. They're still not available.
I had spoken to the woman, I don't know,
A
if it
long
was
time
Grandma
ago.
Brown's daughter.
Yeah.
A little over a year ago. This is when I was obviously
Mm-hmm.
still on the show before, and she had said she was willing to come on, but she wanted to wait, and then I never heard.
Every place I find online with Grandma Brown beans says they are out of stock. And I don't know of any other product that's anything like Grandma Brown beans.
Is it the brown sugar ratio?
I believe it could be. So, but you can look online. There are plenty of recipes that say you can make Grandma Brown beans.
You can't. It's not
from
the same.
scratch. I'm just saying. That's what they're claiming.
Steve C. in Rome, getting back to the plane discussion, sit in the back of the plane. Sit in the back of the plane. They almost always find the tail.
That's I would think that, but the experts are saying there is no safe seat. I would think if there was a safer seat, they would be charging a premium for it.
And John in Bridgewater, Bill, was it Juicy Fruit gum? No, it's if you Google it, it did have a yellow package, yellow and multicolored package. John, it's not Juicy Fruit. That's a different gum all entirely.
I'm trying to look up Juicy Fruit.
That's the green. No, that's Double Mint.
Juicy Fruit is yellow.
So Juicy Fruit is different.
Yeah, it's different. It's definitely different. But this would have there'd be pink, there'd be purple, all different, and they would just be gum with stripes. Yeah, with a zebra on the packaging.
This is it right here. That's why I thought orange.
Yep, and very similar looking to Juicy Fruit. You can imagine that Juicy Fruit probably wanted to make theirs look like.
We got to make that fruit stripe gum go away.
Because people won't know the difference, and they'll buy ours.
Yesterday was 25. Speaking of the Italian voice I just did, 25 years ago yesterday was the premiere of The Sopranos.
I know.
Officially.
Well, today there's a huge thing going on in New York City tonight where they're going to be holding a big Sopranos kickoff, and they're going to stream the old show with new footage. There's also a thing, if anybody would be interested in going to be in New York City, and you'd like to take, there's a tour. You'd like to take a tour. There's a tour that takes you around, tells you the story about the taping of Sopranos, and it takes you to all of the locations where they filmed.
Like
the Bada Bing, it's
his house.
It's an awesome tour. This is just unbelievable what's happening here right now. This is incredible. South Korean lawmakers have passed a bill to ban the eating of blank. And Jonathan Savage with Fox News Radio on the line right now to fill us in on this one. Jonathan, good morning. To ban the eating of what?
Sometimes when something's on the radio that's a bit sensitive and you say maybe get the kids out of the room, I think maybe get the pets out of the room in this case.
Absolutely. That's a good point. Good point.
For centuries in South Korea, humans have eaten dog meat. It's considered a delicacy. There's a dog meat stew known as boshin tang, which has been very popular. But this is now being banned. For years, it was seen as a way of providing stamina for workers during the intense humidity of the Korean summer. And then I guess people just really liked it. There's at least 1,600 dog meat restaurants and over 1,100 dog farms in South Korea. But it's becoming less and less popular, whereas in 2015, about a quarter of South Koreans ate dog meat. Last year, only about 8%. And there's a real generational shift, and that has led to this change in the law.
There are a lot of different foods like that, right? So here in the United States, people, if you love it, tripe, which is the inside of the stomach of a cow. That is, it's a delicacy. A lot of Italians enjoy tripe. But what is also interesting is based on culture, Jonathan. Some parts of the world, it is an absolute no-no to eat a cow or a bull.
Yeah.
Look, we're coming up to Burns Night in Scotland. Have you ever had haggis before?
I've heard of it, but I don't know that I've ever had it.
Yeah.
So haggis is very traditional Scottish food. You eat it at the end of January for Burns Night to mark the poet Robert Burns. You often eat it on St Andrew's Day in November. That is sheep's heart, liver, and lungs with onion, oatmeal, suet, spices, and salt in a sort of savoury pudding form. Then there's obviously places in the world where insects are eaten.
Yeah.
Dogs, I think there are actually very few places. I think China and Vietnam, still some people eat dog meat. But yes, I've got a friend from France who's got his very own snail fork for eating snails.
Yeah, and I got to say, you go to France, the taste is just wonderful.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it. But when you just can't think about what you're eating. That's
right.
The whole thing.
Yeah, I always thought that was just a rumor or like some offensive thing about Asians eating dog. And
no.
When I was at Disney, I met a lot of people from South Korea, and my buddy's girl that he was talking to at the time. I said, "Is this true? Is this real?" And she said, "Oh yeah,
absolutely.
we have it all the time."
All right, interesting stuff, Jonathan. We can always count on you, Jonathan, to bring us the most interesting news, and thank you for that.
My pleasure.
All right, have a great day. Thank you.
No more dog in South
no
Korea.
more stories like that. Enough of those. We're done with that story. I'll bet you if you go to North Korea, they're still eating it.
Oh yeah,
right.
Mm-hmm.
But South Korea, what's happened in South Korea is it's becoming very westernized.
Yes.
So that probably plays I would say, plays a big role. All right, and then one more from Mike this morning here. When I was stationed in South Korea, I ate dog once. Didn't try it again. By the way, when I was there, dog fighting was also legal.
Yeah.
Who knows? Maybe I ate the loser. Thanks for that, Mike. I wonder if there's a certain breed of dog that was better than others. If you're a consumer of dog.
Well, you got to think of what are the lean dogs, right? I mean, like the lean, muscular, breeds.
Well, I would think those may not be
German
the
Shepherd
best ones.
Well,
you need a little, it's like your steak. I mean, if you eat a piece of filet, it's very lean. You need a sauce for that. You got to spice it up a little bit, add some flavor to it. Whereas if you get something that's marbled with a little fat in there, it's just so delicious. But again, go to India and try to eat a hamburger. That
nowhere on the menu.
Doesn't go well. And then I don't know if you've been keeping track, but Saturday night, Davey. What's big on Saturday night, Davey?
Huh?
What's big on Saturday night?
Hold on.
He's on the phone.
Saturday night.
Sorry to interrupt.
Forget it. You go back to your conveation.
It's
you
a
guys
question.
today. It is a question. Yeah, it's a question I ask. I sometimes do it.
Can I take that?
SATURDAY tonight, Saturday night is.
It's Jimmy Fallon Show.
It's the Jimmy Fallon Show, Davey. Debuting on Saturday night. What time is that? 10 o'clock?
10 o'clock.
10 p.m. And I believe it's live. I think he does it live. So that'll be pretty cool. Get ready for that. I will be watching that on Fox News Channel on Saturday night. Pretty excited about it. On the program today, Morgan Wright is a cyberterrorism analyst. A lot of worry right now about a cyber attack coming our way. We'll get into that. Hobika's free money question of the day. We'll do that. There are a bunch of new products out there that we have found. What is that thing where they introduce the new products? They usually hold the event out in Vegas. I forget the name of it. But anyway, I have the story pulled.
Yeah,
and they have 10 items that are out there right now that you actually could buy right now that are currently available. It's amazing how technology moves so quickly in the world. Utica Common Councilor from South Utica, Joe Betar, is that how his name is pronounced?
Betar.
We'll meet him in studio. Actually, I think we had him in studio once a while
He'll be
back.
on the phone this morning. But,
we'll have him on the phone this morning.
Yes.
There you go. And Dr. Tim DelMedico. If you've been listening to Andrew talk about the Revive Softwave Therapy, where if you have pain, they actually use stem cells. Mm-hmm. So it's a stem cell treatment that allows you to. It actually has been incredibly effective with some people you will know here in our area who are currently using it and had instant success. Right?
Yes.
Pain going away instantly.
Right. So we'll let Dr. Tim DelMedico reveal who the person is, but a little hint here. This person was.
I wouldn't give a hint. I'd let him do it.
Okay.
And then
I don't want to give away the tease.
And then one more. Selena Gomez. I'm very excited about this. She is going to star in a new biopic portraying 11-time Grammy winner Linda Ronstadt.
Interesting.
Pretty excited about that.
Wow.
I don't know if you know, but Linda Ronstadt is of Mexican descent.
Yeah, I saw
She
this.
can't sing anymore. But, man, Selena Gomez can. That'll be very interesting to see. All right, got a break. We have news coming up straight ahead. Thursday morning at WIBX.
Snow, rain, sun. Could be anyone. Bobcat and Warner Sales and Service can help you get your jobs done in all kinds of weather. Bobcat machines, including skid steer loaders, track loaders, and excavators, are fast, maneuverable, and deliver plenty of traction for working in deep snow, slippery surfaces, and mud. We know all about that in Central New York. So whether it is snow or mud that won't quit, you won't have to quit either thanks to Bobcat. Push it to the limit with Bobcat machines and attachments from Warner Sales and Service, just off Route 365 between Rome and Verona. Or visit us on the web at WarnerSS.com.
If you love them enough to turn off your music and pretend like their music is your music,
this is Mommy's jam.
then surely you'll check NHTSA.gov/the right seat to make sure they're in the right car seat.
Let's play it again.
Check today at NHTSA.gov/the right seat. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
She's running around. Her breath doesn't smell. Her digestive system is perfect. It has made such a huge difference.
What did this dog parent do for their dog? She switched to Nature's Blend, a premium freeze-dried raw dog food made by Dr. Marty Goldstein, a veterinarian Forbes magazine called the Miracle Worker. It's the easiest way to support your dog's easy digestion, nourished skin, playful energy, and most importantly, their healthy, full life.
I'm so confident your dog will love it. Your order is backed with a 90-day guarantee.
Save up to 54% off Nature's Blend and get a free full-sized bag of Tilly's Treasures dog treats. They're best-selling beef liver dog treats while supplies last. Go to drmartypets.com/deal or text DEAL to 511-511. Go to drmartypets.com/deal or shop in over 2,000 stores nationwide. Use the store locator to find the store closest to you. All pets are unique. Your pet's results can and will vary. Message and data rates may apply. Studies available upon request.
All right, coming up, Hobika's free money question of the day. Next hour, chance for you to win cash from WIBX, Utica, Rome.
He's already picked a running mate. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. Even before Monday's first 2024 contest, but former President Trump wouldn't say who it is at a Fox News town hall.
Now I've gotten to know Washington. I've gotten to know the people. I know the best. I know the smart ones, the dumb ones, the weak ones, the strong ones. And I think you're going to see something like you've never seen before.
As for his critics who say another 4 Trump years would be chaos.
They had chaos. They were the ones that caused the chaos. We didn't have chaos. We got the biggest tax cuts in history, the biggest regulation cuts in history.
And the former president told voters in Iowa.
The new narrative they have, as you know, is I'm going to be a dictator. That's going to be the new narrative because a guy like Biden, there's nothing he can run on.
Now, Ron DeSantis and Nikki Haley, both a distant second in the Iowa polls, debated on CNN, taking aim at the Republican frontrunner.
I don't think that President Trump is the right president to go forward.
He said he was going to build a wall and have Mexico pay for it. He did not deliver that. He said he was going to drain the swamp.
Well, they were also critical of each other. DeSantis accused Haley of preparing to cut Americans' Social Security benefits.
While your tax dollars are going to pay the pensions of Ukrainian bureaucrats.
That's not true.
You talk about putting Americans last.
Ron.
That is wrong. You've supported all that money going over there. So let's put our own people.
Desperate.
Now, Chris Christie's dropped out of the Republican race. And while he ran an anti-Trump campaign, he was caught on microphone saying this about Nikki Haley.
She's going to get smoked. And you and I both know it. She's not up to this.
Today, former President Trump goes back to court in New York for closing arguments at his company's civil fraud trial. The former president wanted to join his lawyers making those arguments. The judge denied that. There's a hearing at the UN's International Court of Justice in South Africa's lawsuit accusing Israel of genocide and the war against Hamas in Gaza, where 23,000 Palestinians have been killed. But Fox's Trey Yingst reports from Tel Aviv.
Just yesterday, Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu seemingly addressing this claim and the trial that is taking place, simply saying that the Israelis, in his view, have been doing everything according to international law.
America's listening to Fox News.
Your pet isn't just a pet, they're part of your family. Most of the pet food on the market is cooked at high temperatures, which kills nutrients. A scoop of Dynovite is a 3-in-1 daily supplement, adding back key nutrients to your pup's health. Try Dynovite for free. Just pay shipping and handling. Learn more at dinovite.com/radio. That's Dynovite.com/radio.
Happier, healthier with every bite. Over 1 million pets helped with Dynovite.
Progressive presents 10 things on a contractor's to-do list that are harder than getting a commercial auto insurance quote. Bidding a new client, giving an accurate estimate, finding affordable materials, getting a client to pay you for work you already did, getting a client to pay you, period, securing permits and workers and tools, getting those workers and tools to work together, and finding the perfect pair of overalls. Pockets, baby. But the easiest thing on a small business owner's to-do list? Seeing if you can save on commercial auto insurance. Get a quote in as little as 6 minutes at ProgressiveCommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Coverage subject to policy terms and conditions.
Good morning. WIBX 950 News Time, 7:03. I'm Andrew Derminio. 31 degrees under cloudy skies. Your full weather forecast is coming up. This update brought to you by John's Mobile Home Parts and Accessories in Oriskany Falls. For all your mobile home needs, it's worth the trip. Go to johnsmobilehomeparts.com for more information. The Transportation Security Administration says that fewer guns were detected at upstate New York airport security checkpoints in 2023. At Syracuse Hancock International, there were 4 firearms discovered, which was down from 6 in 22. The TSA says it's still disappointing to see people bringing their guns to the airport and called violators careless and irresponsible. Nationwide, the TSA seized over 6,700 guns at airports last year, and roughly 93% of them were loaded. An upstate New York woman who was one half of an altercation duo robbery at a popular clothing store in November has been arrested. Police say 20-year-old Riviera Lawrence of Utica was one of two women that were in the Sierra store on Commercial Drive in New Hartford back on November 24th, who allegedly selected a quantity of store merchandise and began to exit without making any attempt to pay for the items. During the course of the incident, one female, later identified as Lawrence, and a second female began a physical altercation with store employees and fled into the parking lot with a quantity of merchandise. New Hartford Police Chief Ron Fontaine says the women have been charged with robbery in the second degree. The Sierra store is located, again, at Commercial Drive. We got more details on that story at WIBX950.com. A credit card reported stolen was used at 4 locations without the owner's permission. The Utica Police Department's Criminal Investigations Division obtained surveillance videos from several of the locations where the card was used. It was determined by police that the same man had made purchases at each of the respective locations. The individual in question was identified as 63-year-old Kevin Bing of Utica. On January 9th, officers took Bing into custody without incident. He's being charged with criminal possession of stolen property, identity theft, and petty larceny. Governor Hochul is providing New Yorkers with an update on the state's plan for a solar eclipse that's now less than 3 months away. The governor says several agencies have been working with local governments to make sure everyone has a safe and enjoyable experience. The eclipse is happening on April 8th, and the event will last over 2 hours. A website has been set up to highlight viewing locations, and that information is posted at iloveny.com/events. WIBX 950 news time is 7:06. Your weather forecast is according to Eyewitness News Chief Meteorologist Craig Flint, brought to you by Cliff's Local Market. They keep you going.
I'm Eyewitness News Chief Meteorologist Craig Flint in the WIBX Weather Center. For today, cloudy, still windy at times, light snow showers and flurries with lake snow continuing north, a high of 38. Tonight, an isolated snow shower, but mainly snow-free, low 28. And tomorrow, mostly cloudy, dry much of the day, becoming windy late with wet snow to a wintry mix arriving by evening, a high near 40. For more on your local forecast, tune to Eyewitness News at 6 on WTR. I'm meteorologist Craig Flint on WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM.
31 degrees under cloudy skies at 7:06. Buffalo Bills head coach Sean McDermott says his team is banged up ahead of this weekend's big playoff game. Among the players dealing with injuries are wide receiver Gabe Davis, defensive player Rasul Douglas, and Taylor Rapp. McDermott says it has not been determined if any of those players are going to be available to take the field when the Bills play the Steelers at Highmark Stadium on Sunday. Kickoff for that contest is set for 1 p.m. Syracuse Orange basketball getting a big win at home last night as they defeated Boston College by a score of 69-59. The Orange are now 11-4 and will visit North Carolina on Saturday at noon. Syracuse has won 6 of their last 7 games, and Judah Mintz did not start the game. As Smitty said, it was due to some sort of team violation. Speaking of the Bills, police in South Florida have confirmed a tragic story of a man fatally shot. A 30-year-old Bills fan was killed during an altercation last Sunday. Yeah, the incident happened near Hard Rock Stadium after Buffalo defeated the Dolphins 21-14 on Sunday Night Football. According to Miami Gardens police, a driver pulled out a gun and fired shots at Dylan Brody Isaacs a few blocks from the stadium. Isaacs died at the scene, and detectives have identified and interviewed a suspect. The investigation is ongoing. Pete Carroll will not be the coach of the Seattle Seahawks next season. The team made the announcement on Wednesday and said Carroll will remain with the organization as a, quote, advisor. He's getting the Tom Coughlin treatment here. Carroll has been the Seahawks head coach since 2010, winning 1 Super Bowl and 2 NFC championships. Seattle finished with a 9-8 record and was eliminated from playoff contention on the last day of the season. Carroll's contract was set to run through the 2025 season, and he was the oldest coach in the NFL at 72. And the big story from yesterday, Bill, this is hitting the college football world by storm. The Crimson Tide are losing a legend. Longtime head coach Nick Saban announced he's retiring. Saban won 7 national championships during his career, including 6 as the leader of the Tide. The 72-year-old just completed his 17th season at Alabama, which ended with that loss to Michigan at the Rose Bowl. Saban's overall record, 292, 71-1. He also spent time at Toledo, Michigan State, LSU, and the Miami Dolphins in the NFL. That was a brief stint.
Yeah. I don't know if you've seen this story up on our website at WIBX950.com, but 2 men from Richfield Springs on Saturday afternoon fell into a lake. This is out near Canandaigua Lake.
Yeah.
But not in Canandaigua Lake. They were on the ice, and this is the town of Burlington. There was a woman who was walking her dog, and she saw the men, the 2 brothers in their early 40s, had fallen through the ice into the water. She saw a park ranger, a forest ranger, his name Nate Lehman, and quickly alerted him. He, within a minute, was able to get out to see them and got some gear and got out onto the ice. Now, there's a video that shows the rescue attempt up on our website, and then a video of Lehman, and I'll play a little audio for you here. Here he is explaining how the whole thing went down and ultimately how he was able to save one of the brothers, and the other, he got him out of the water. He would later be pronounced dead of hypothermia later on the day. He had gone down in the water.
Yeah.
The other one was still able to tread water. This is Forest Ranger Nate Lehman. Here we go.
He eventually grabbed the rope and pulled him up onto the ice. I was coaching him, hey, kick your feet. And I kept pulling. We got him up. I went and grabbed the sled from the caller who had called it in, brought that out in the ice, put the subject or the patient into that sled, dragged him back. The guy who was there started dragging him across the dam at the pond, and then the chief from Edmonton was coming down the hill, and they took the sled up to his truck, put that individual into the truck to start the warming process because he was hypothermic at that point. I had briefly unzipped my suit so I could radio the county dispatch saying, I had one guy up and out of the water, and I transferred him to Edmonton chief. And then I said, hey, I'm going back in to see if I can get the other guy. So I transitioned, zipped my suit back up with help from the caller again, and then crawled back out. And at that point, Edmonton Volunteer Fire Department was rolling in. So instead of going out with what I just had, I got tethered into one of their ropes. So if I did get a hold of them, or if something happened, they could pull me out pretty quick. So I got back out, and
well, you got to give him unbelievable credit. He did this initially without any other assistance. Although I think there might have been another ranger there.
Yeah.
So it's just incredible.
I mean, one of the things that came to mind was, I know we got a bunch of snow and it was cold. It's it's not that far away, so it might be a little bit colder there, but I don't know that it's that cold to be.
My parents live up that way. It is not cold enough
to be on the ice.
The ice is under an inch thick. It is not thick enough to be out on the water.
And I don't want in any way to say, I'm blaming them, but I just can't.
No,
imagine.
I'm just saying. Hopefully, we all learn from this. You've got to be extremely careful when you go out on water. I remember out at Canandaigua Lake out there in Richfield Springs. As a kid, they would have car races on the ice. And I remember my mother being all nervous about it. She said, I can hear the ice cracking.
Yeah.
Well, your mother's saying that. I'm like, oh, my God, we're going to die. So, you just have to be careful. And we do not have the cold. Now, next week, you'll see the ice will thicken next week.
Mm-hmm.
But that's going to take a little while. We'll have temperatures overnight in the teens. High temperatures next week will be in the low 20s. We'll get about a week of that, but that's going to be coming off a weekend of rain.
Yeah.
Where it's going to be melting all over again. So here he continues. Now, remember, there's someone who's gone into the water now. So they're going to try to get this man out of the water and save his life.
I just started scanning the water. I got in the hole where they were and just started looking through the water to see what I could see. And I saw a red, white, and black reflective coat. And I was like, yeah, that's got to be the guy. And then eventually I saw the words Polaris because he was wearing a snowmobile jacket. took a couple attempts, but I was trying to reach down and grab his coat. And you know, I don't have the longest arms, so eventually I made a big push, kind of dipped my head under, dove my shoulders down, and I got a hold of the guy and brought him up to the surface. And then it was just, you know, trying to get him out and over the ice shelf was the big problem. At that point, I was getting tired, and there was a state police diver who was in the water with his gear, trying to work his way to me. And then eventually a Schuyler Lake volunteer fireman in an ice suit came out, and he helped me. We put a flotation device around him. We hauled him up, got him on top of the ice, and then, you know, it's just a little bit of a process to get him across. But eventually, you know, we got him across the ice, and, you know, he went back into the water on the other side where the trooper was and the volunteers were, and then we got him on shore. And then
remember getting off the lake there, or the pond. You're dealing with thin ice again, so you could go right back in. They have to be careful of that. So nonetheless, that man passed away. He was the younger brother, I believe. One was 42, one was 41. But incredibly sad story. The Rangers, the DEC has not released the names of the two men. But if you're down that way, I'm sure you know. That was just the beginning. There were two more accidents in one case, a woman was trapped in a vehicle that had slid on the ice on the highway and tipped over. So they had an unbelievably busy day and a busy night up there along Canandaigua Lake and down into Schuyler Lake and as you get down into Burlington and town of Burlington down there. So the other part of this is we want to tell you that the ranger, Nate Lehman, we asked to talk to him here this morning, and he declined. He said, he did the interview he had to do for the DEC, and would rather not talk about it anymore. This is, I assume, incredibly traumatic for somebody. So a heroic rescue attempt down there near Richfield Springs. It's all up on our website, WIBX950.com. 716 WIBX.
Oneida County Office of Continuing Care has immediate openings for program nurses, starting at over $59,000. Nurses work a 35-hour week, conducting patient screenings and home health assessments. Join our team and make a difference. Apply today at OneidaCountyJobs.com.
Have you ever wanted to learn how to make jewelry? How about learning how to design animations or create pottery? This year, explore your future in art with Munson. Munson in downtown Utica offers courses for artists of all ages, interests, and abilities. They also feature art appreciation classes for people more interested in learning than creating. Classes for the winter-spring semester begin in January. So register now at munson.art. That's munson.art.
Are you sick of being just a number or doing a mindless job? Become a craftsman in a trade. Become an IBEW electrician. The IBEW and the Electrician Training Alliance will give you all the tools necessary at their state-of-the-art training facility. Earn as you learn. Paid training while you get your certification. What are you waiting for? Become an IBEW Local 43 electrician. Call or go online today to learn more. Find your career at IBEW and let the Electrician Training Alliance light up your future.
Ready for a smoother, safer ride? Look to Tallman's Tire and Auto Repair, your trusted tire experts. Tallman's and their professional staff is there for answers, advice, and quality tires at a great price. And right now, Tallman's, when you purchase 4 Summit tires, you'll get installation, mounting, and balancing absolutely free. Summit tires are great quality and your best value in Central New York. And free installation when you purchase 4 tires is an amazing deal. Don't miss out. This offer ends January 31st, 2024. Visit Tallman's Tire and Auto Repair in Utica, Yorkville, Roman Herkimer, online at Tallman'sTire.com.
Whitesboro Central School District is looking for bus drivers to join their team. Whitesboro is a leading school system in Central New York with 7 schools, 3,100 students, and holding a 92% graduation rate. You can help drive our students' success. When you drive for Whitesboro, you get great benefits, a flexible schedule, and summers off. Perfect for retirees with extra time. Help drive our future leaders with Whitesboro Central School Transportation. Call Andy at 315-768-9750 140 or stop by the garage, 20 Wood Road, Whitesboro.
A lot of Canoli's energy started to bounce back.
She has a lot of puppy moments, and she'll be 14 this summer.
What did these dog parents do for their dogs? They switched to Nature's Blend, a premium freeze-dried raw dog food made by Dr. Marty Goldstein, a veterinarian Forbes magazine called the Miracle Worker. It's the easiest way to support your dog's easy digestion, nourished skin, playful energy, and most importantly, their healthy, full life.
I'm so confident your dog will love it. Your order is backed with a 90-day guarantee.
Save up to 54% off Nature's Blend and get a free full-size bag of Tilly's Treasures dog treats. They're best-selling beef liver dog treats while supplies last. Go to drmartypets.com/deal or text DEAL to 511-511. Go to drmartypets.com/deal or shop in over 2,000 stores nationwide. Use the store locator to find the store closest to you. All pets are unique. Your pet's results can and will vary. Message and data rates may apply. Studies available upon request.
The Falcon Clinic in Washington Mills is accepting new patients right now if you're in need of a new family doctor. You hear a lot of stories about, boy, I've had such and such a doctor for a long time, but he or she has decided to retire or they're moving on, and I just cannot find a doctor anywhere. The Falcon Clinic has physicians all under one roof, and they're accepting new patients right now. Call them today. Located conveniently in Washington Mills. Call 315-507-4751. If you're having any health issues, they have you covered. If you need a new family doctor, Dr. Shemaleski, Dr. Zielinski, and other physicians, they all have you covered. And if you're in need of acupuncture or counseling, Dr. Kosminski is on staff there. All under one roof at the Falcon Clinic in Washington Mills. Call today, 315-507-4751, or visit them online, falconclinic.com.
WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM. This is Keeler.
Coming up, we're going to tell you how you can avoid a cyber attack.
Yes.
You know, we'd gotten an alert yesterday that said there were a whole bunch of text messaging attacks. That's the problem with it. Are you cold?
Yeah, just a little.
Chilly.
Just a little. The meat locker.
A little chilly here. I got to say, it's cooling things off in here.
Yeah, good.
Anyway, what was I saying?
Cyber attack, text message.
Text messages. Be very careful of the text messages. And you respond to it, and bingo. Here's the other thing you got to be careful of. You get a phone call, and they want you to receive. You're like, hello. Nobody's talking. Hello.
They want to get your voice.
Can you hear me? Yes. They're trying to get your voice so they can use it with this software, artificial intelligence software, and they'll end up using you in another scam, maybe calling a family member. How do they get that? Well, they then go to Facebook. They know who you are. You have all your information on Facebook. For God's sakes, they probably know what you had for breakfast.
Mm-hmm.
How? Well, you put it on Facebook. They can see it. So anyway, we have an expert coming up in a second to talk about how you can avoid getting caught up in one of these cyber attacks. Be very, very careful. As Andrew said, Nick Saban is retiring as head coach of the Alabama Crimson Tide. He is 72 years old.
Yes.
Is that young? That's not that old, is it, to be a coach?
He looks young for 71.
He does. He helped them win 7 national championships. Do you know which years they won? Davey, do you know which years he won?
2007.
No.
Yes, 2020.
Not according to this.
What, the national championship?
Yeah.
He won one in 2020.
No, not according to this.
Okay.
He won in 10. Oh, there's only 5 here, so maybe he did win.
I think he won 6 with Alabama, and then there was
He won one with LSU and 6 with Alabama.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's won 7. Here's a montage of just some of his wins. This is 2010, 2012, 2013, 16, and 18. Here's some audio.
That'll do it. Crimson Tide wins the national championship. The Bear would be proud.
Alabama, they win the BCS championship behind Coach Nick Saban and quarterback A.J. McCarron. Saban with his third national championship at Alabama in 4 years. They dominated Notre Dame 42-14.
Alabama back on top of the
Oh, they keep going. Anyway, he ended his career 206-29.
Mm-hmm.
That's a pretty good record.
He won one in 2020 because they went 13-0.
No, it didn't happen. Pretty sure, Davey.
Well, there's some other big news here that...
No, wait a minute. I just got it here. Yep, 2020. It just showed up. Yep.
Other big
There were
news.
7 national championships, Davey.
Yeah, 1 with LSU and 6 with Alabama.
Yeah, incredible.
Some other big news.
Yeah.
Adam,
This is breaking news right now.
This is breaking this morning, a mere 15 to 20 minutes ago via Adam Schefter. Bill Belichick and the New England Patriots, I almost said New Hartford, and the New England Patriots are expected to part ways today after a remarkable 24 seasons together, ending an unmatched run in the NFL history, including 6 Super Bowl titles, 9 appearances. He being Adam Schefter says league sources tell him and Mike Reese that is the case.
What a I as a Bills fan, I certainly don't like him, but you can't take it away from him.
No,
what an amazing career, and all of his success came with the New England Patriots, and really all of his success came with Tom Brady.
Yeah, and I mean I think it's definitely one you have to kind of take a look at. You know, he's definitely legendary. I mean, they had an amazing offensive line for several years. Protecting Brady, who was really something. I mean, he is the GOAT as far as that position.
Oh, it is out now. There's an alert that just came out. It is officially official.
Yeah. So
it's happening. That it's happening later today.
And usually it's the Monday. What do they call Black Monday or whatever after the regular season that all of them go, and that's it. But it's been as of late. You have Pete Carroll no longer in Seattle, Nick Saban retiring from Alabama, and Bill Belichick here. All on Thursday.
If you're Belichick last weekend, you got to be like, are you kidding me? We got to do this in the snow. It couldn't have been a decent day. It's been a warmer than usual winter so far. And I got this snow, and that snow was really coming down.
Yeah, well, it might be that he goes to a warmer climate like Los Angeles or Atlanta. I mean, Atlanta has a coaching vacancy. So,
or are they going to, it says Belichick and the Patriots expected to part ways Thursday, ending in an unmatched run, according to sources. Are they saying anything that's going to happen? They had conversations yesterday and this week. There was said to be no conflict, no disagreement, and in the end, productive talks resulted in a mutual decision that left both sides comfortable and at ease.
Yeah, I think that's the way that it should be handled, much like when Tom Brady left New England. Robert Kraft wanted to give both those individuals the respect they deserved, and I think he did that. So
Belichick, who has 1 year remaining on his contract, will be allowed to leave the team without the Patriots seeking compensation. He'll want to continue coaching and is expected to draw interest from at least some of the other 7 NFL teams that now have head coaching vacancies. One of the names being thrown out there is the Atlanta Falcons.
Yeah, and it's thought that Mike Vrabel, who was fired from Nashville a couple days ago, may go to New England.
Okay.
So you've got now New England, Atlanta, Tennessee, Seattle, Oakland, Los Angeles, and Washington all have vacancies.
Yeah. Let's see. Cyberterrorism analyst. She is the chief security advisor. He is the chief security advisor at Sentinel-1, former senior advisor with the U.S. State Department of Anti-Terrorism Assistance Program. He is Morgan Wright and is on the line right now. Morgan, good morning.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Thanks so much for coming on. All right, so, we call it a cyber attack, hacking, they're phishing, they're trying to get information from you. This is a problem today out there, and people are being hit every single day. Hopefully, they're ignoring these text messages and emails. What advice can you give people?
Let's use a real-world example. By now, a lot of people have heard about the Twitter account, the X account hack at SEC, where they took over their account.
Yeah.
Well, so I actually pulled the information. Twitter, Elon Musk, they actually posted it out there. The way it happened, and this is the way a lot of the times it happens. Somebody's got a mobile phone tied to their Twitter account. They don't. A lot of folks don't realize you can protect your account at your mobile provider, AT&T, Verizon, T-Mobile, whoever you're using.
Yeah.
Put a pin on your account so that if somebody calls in and tries to change it, they can't unless they've got that. Somebody was able to call in, pretend to be this employee. How did they do that? Because they got information from a data breach. They social engineered information. This employee probably got a text message where they clicked on a link and the right information was pulled out of them. They pretended to be that person. They said, hey, I got a damaged SIM card. I need a new one. So they swapped it out, and instead of you getting the call because you're the legitimate person, now me, the crook, I get all the calls. I was able to log into the SEC Twitter account, and that's how this was done because they did not even enable two-factor authentication, a second level of authentication on the Twitter account. So they basically made it easy. So there's a real-world example that had real-world implications. There was probably somebody making money off the market with that hack.
Think about that. So it's very interesting because you bring up a very good point. Two-level or two-part authentication. What is it called again?
Two-factor authentication.
Two-factor authentication. So I have that on many of the things that I have. But here's the problem with that, Morgan. It's annoying.
Mm-hmm.
It slows things down. We don't want that right now. And I think people avoid it, but they're potentially getting themselves in trouble.
You know what's really annoying? Spending a few $1,000s on lawyer fees, having to take off, a couple weeks from work to get your identity back, having a ransomware attack like what happened to MGM, taking down systems. So, no, I get what you're saying because a lot of people, and that's been the problem. But I'll tell you what, it's so easy now. And really, it's just, think of it as just a couple extra seconds. I use different ways to do it, multi-factor authentication. I actually have a physical token for some of my more sensitive accounts. I've got a password or it's a program called Authy. Google has one called Authenticator, things like that, where it's got a rotating 6-digit number that changes every 30 seconds. So just put that level in there because a lot of these places will allow you to stay logged in for a while. So you only need to do it once, like maybe every week or so. But if you don't do it, the alternative is spending a lot of time and money you shouldn't have because you didn't want to spend the extra 3 seconds.
So I received a text message yesterday from one of the services that I subscribe to that said, here is your one-time authentication number. If you did not ask for this, please ignore it. And I did not ask for it. Now, that's telling me that somebody was trying to get into my account, right?
Absolutely. And what happened was a lot of these folks, you'd be surprised out there, but your credentials may have been exposed in a breach somewhere. They're available on the dark web. They're available in these data breaches that are put out there for the, ransomware groups, the hackers, even the nation state actors to get access to.
Yeah.
So somebody was what they call credential stuffing. They were just trying a bunch of them and see what popped. And in your example, somebody tried to log into your account, which means either they were trying to reset a password. They may not have had the password. They were trying to reset it. Or they actually got a hold of the password and they were trying to log in, and the two-factor stopped them from doing that.
Got it. Yeah. Andrew.
Morgan, how realistic or how likely is something, everybody's been watching this Leave the World Behind movie on Netflix where the cyber attack goes deeper into, eliminating communication for ships and planes.
Is that the Obama movie?
Yeah.
Worst ending in a movie I've ever seen in my life.
It
was worse than his second term. I'm telling you.
Well, but my question is, how likely is an attack like that, and are there, securities in place to prevent that?
Let's go away from the word likely. Is what happened there possible?
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wrote a big article for the Daily Mail that just came out last week where they asked me to actually address that movie, that issue. And I ended up doing some news interviews based on that, too. And here's the thing. Just remember, with Hollywood, it's about a third, and a third. A third of it's dead on, spot on, accurate. A third of it's kind of accurate, but it's made up, and a third of it's just complete BS. So I would apply the same 1/3, 1/3, 1/3 to that. There are some things in there that could happen, but the fact that it would make a ship run aground because they knocked out GPS, not likely to happen. Zombie deer, a little bit outside of my wheelhouse. I can't answer about turning zombie deers.
If I look, if I look out my
But-
back window and I see 300 deer looking at me, that's abnormal.
Yeah,
I don't see that happening.
Well, I'm loading up at that point. Going, the boys were under attack. So
that's right.
Yeah,
But
30-6 would fix that.
Yeah.
But taking out power, I tell you, if you want to bring a nation to its knees, you want to cause the most fear in a society, you go after power and water. And so some of that aspects were correct. Take out power, take out water. Those are the things, those are Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Those are the things that get down to survival. So some of that is correct. But again, just remember it's a Hollywood third, and a third.
And then finally, Morgan, I'm sure you're really busy because this is a big topic this morning. But finally, I would ask you, at what point do these companies require you do two different authenticators? Because sometimes people are lazy. They become complacent. I think these services are going to have to require them to do it at some point.
Well, I'm so for SentinelOne Chief Security Advisor, there is a lot of mandatory things in place. I'm not going to speak to a lot of them, but let's put it this way: it's now to the point of where you have to actually be authenticated to your device that you're using, your laptop, in addition to two-factor, in addition to another series of authentication. So there are things in place to make sure that you are forced. You have to comply with those things.
Yeah.
And the fact that the SEC did not have mandatory two-factor authentication on a social media account.
Shocking.
Shocking.
Yeah. Wow. Interesting stuff. Take the extra time. And I will say I'm an iPhone user. Apple's latest software update did a really good job of, there was, it sometimes would remember your password. Other times it didn't. It is whatever problem they had, they've corrected. So you can use larger passwords, and your phone will remember it, and it's worth using that stuff, I think.
Yep. Hey, sorry, gents, I've got to go. Next call coming in.
Thanks, Morgan. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right.
He's a popular guy this morning. It's an important topic. I know a lot of companies, such as this one that we work for, my fiance's company, they'll still do the fake emails that they send to test you to see if you'll fall victim to a ransomware attack, and then they make you do a safety course, a training course.
So that's required here, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we have a department that actually goes out and they literally test you.
Mm-hmm.
And if you fail, you got to go through a course.
Yep.
So, which is why I no longer answer any emails. I'm not taking a chance.
I don't even open them.
I don't want to go through that course again. Okay, each week we do the Mohawk Valley Crime Stoppers Wanted Person of the Week. And let's start here this morning. Davey, who do we have on this morning? Who's our agency?
It's Investigator Karsick from the United County Sheriff's Department.
Investigator, good morning. Thanks for coming on.
Good morning, sir.
Happy New Year, and who are we looking for this morning through Mohawk Valley Crime Stoppers?
Happy New Year. Today we are looking for Dakota J. Caton. He's a white male, 31 years of age, 6'1", weighs approximately 220 pounds, has black hair, brown eyes. We currently have one bench warrant for violation of probation.
So what is this all in regard to?
Mr. Caton violated the terms and conditions of his probation.
Okay.
And since that, he has been a probation absconder.
Okay. We'll have a complete photo up on our website, details on how you can reach out to Mohawk Valley Crime Stoppers. The beauty of Crime Stoppers, we say this over and over every week, the beauty is, investigator, it's 100% anonymous.
I agree.
Not to mention, there are rewards, cash rewards that can be given out if the person is apprehended, depending on the severity of the crime. Up to $1,500 in reward money can be given out. So we'll have that up on our website at WIBX950.com. Investigator Carson, thanks so much. Have a great rest of the week.
Thank you. You too.
All right. Thanks so much. Again, the man's name, Dakota J. Caton, A 31-year-old white male. Full story will be up on our website at some point here this morning. All right, Davey, let's do this morning's free money question of the day. Do you have Hobika's amount? What is the jackpot amount we're going after today?
$300.
Whoa. $300 on the line, and it's your chance to win from Hobika and WIBX. You're looking for caller number what?
Caller number 8.
8th caller through the lines right now at 315-736-0186. Caller number 8 right now at WIBX.
Remember the simple days of the home phone? You never misplaced that phone or lost a call because of spotty internet or bad reception. It was right there and always reliable, even in emergencies. Well, the home phone is back and better than ever with Community Phone. Community Phone offers landline home phone service starting at just $39 a month. And now get 50% off your first month when you call 1-866-714-5864. There are no contracts. You don't need internet. You can make unlimited nationwide calls, and your phone works, even if you lose power. Plus, you can keep your current phone number or get a new one. With Community Phone, you'll enjoy all the modern conveniences of caller ID, voicemail, spam call blocking, and more. Today, get 50% off your first month when you call 1-866-714-5864. Call 1-866-714-5864 today to get 50% off. 1-866-714-5864.
Investing involves risk, including possible loss of principal. Income may be subject to state, local, or alternative minimum tax. Did you know that municipal bonds are a way for investors to support civil projects while earning federally tax-free income? The Erie Canal, which led to the expansion of the United States into the Midwest in the 1800s, was financed with municipal bonds. Are you looking to bridge the gap between the income of your working years and the income needed in retirement? Municipal bonds might provide the solution you're looking for. Henyon & Walsh is a leading specialist in tax-free municipal bonds and has provided investors with quality service and personal attention since 1990. Call now to receive their informative bond guide absolutely free. Dial 1-800-761-9761 to learn how to earn retirement income while keeping your taxes at bay. Just dial 1-800-761-9761 for a copy of their informative bond guide for free. No cost, no obligation. 1-800-761-9761. Henyon & Walsh Inc., member of FINRA and SIPC.
This station is brought to you by Tallman's Tire, located in Utica, Yorkville, Rome, and Herkimer, and online at tallmanstire.com.
Ready for a smoother, safer ride? Look to Tallman's Tire and Auto Repair, your trusted tire experts. Tallman's and their professional staff is there for answers, advice, and quality tires at a great price. And right now, Tallman's, when you purchase 4 Summit tires, you'll get installation, mounting, and balancing absolutely free. Summit tires are great quality and your best value in Central New York. And free installation when you purchase 4 tires is an amazing deal. Don't miss out. This offer ends January 31st, 2024. Visit Tallman's Tire and Auto Repair in Utica, Yorkville, Rome, and Herkimer. Online at tallmanstire.com.
Are you or a loved one dealing with physical issues? Are you about to have a corrective surgery? Be prepared and take the stress out of recovery. Visit Home and Hospital Medical Supply in the new Hartford Shopping Center. From mobility aids to home safety equipment, they carry it all. Whether it's a heating pad for back relief or a knee brace for that sports injury, they now even have light therapy equipment to fight seasonal depression. Home and Hospital Medical Supply. Care with convenience. Online at hnhmedicalny.com.
Paid actor portrayal.
Life can be so unpredictable. After losing my dad, it made me think about my family if something were to happen to me. I had heard about life insurance through Ethos and how easy it was to get coverage. They were right. In 10 minutes, I was covered. And boom, family protected.
Ethos fast and easy online term life insurance up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at checkethos.com. That's checkethos.com.
Uncertainty, the unknown. These can be some of the greatest fears people face. There is a chance for a life of greater certainty that the Rome Rescue Mission provides. We call it a hand up, not a handout. The Rome Rescue Mission provides the basic necessities and the skills needed to start a new life. It starts simply with someone to talk to. Knowing that someone cares, the Rome Rescue Mission strives to meet basic needs, food, shelter, and clothing, but more importantly, provides emotional and spiritual support. The Rome Rescue Mission helps people start a new and promising life. Being in need is not a choice. Helping is. An unlimited future starts at the Rome Rescue Mission through your generous support. Make a difference and donate now. RomeMission.org. That's RomeMission.org. Rome Rescue Mission. A hand up, not a handout.
At Mattress Express, get a queen flex head bed with adjustable base and a set of sheets for $14.99. Qualified buyers get no money down and up to 60 months to pay. A flex head bed is where each head goes up and down independently, but it's still one solid mattress. See store for details.
Hey, I want to tell you the official coffee of the Keeler in the Morning radio program is Daylight Donuts in New Hartford. Chuck Sedella and everybody over there, they have you covered with a speedy drive-thru. You're in, you're out, and you're on your way. Coffee, espresso, lattes, iced coffee. The bagels made fresh every day. The donuts are made on premises, fresh every single day. Breakfast sandwiches, delicious as well. And that coffee is Seattle's best. Check it out. Daylight Donuts in the village of New Hartford.
WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM. This is Keeler.
All right, it's time for Hobika's free money question of the day from Joseph and Andrew Hobika. 315-724-1600 for all of your legal needs. I don't want to move this around too much. I'm going to do something with this coming up in a second. You think I can do it, Andrew? I'm going to try.
You can do anything.
You think. Patty is on right now in Rome. Hello, Patty. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Good. You ready to make this work here for 100? I'm sorry. How much was that again, Davey? $300.
Ooh, Davey getting a little bold in there.
Goldie.
I'm hoping. I listen to you every morning.
Well, thank you, Patty. We appreciate it. All right, we're going to throw the question at you. You'll have 7 seconds to answer, and let's get it going here. Here we go. Here is your question. Linda Ronstadt was the singer of this Mike Nesmith written song called Different Drum. What was the group listed as the artist? Ready, go.
Oh, oh my goodness, no clue. Stone Pony?
Hey, you're gonna go with the Stone Ponies?
Yes, wrong.
No, that's absolutely correct. I don't know who that was in the background, but somebody.
She got it in within the clock.
Somebody's going to want a little piece of that money right now. I'm going to tell you. How about that? Yes, you are absolutely correct. The answer is the Stone Ponies.
Wow.
Awesome.
Great
You.
job.
You better thank whoever helped you out, too.
Patty, stand by. Davey's going to hook you up, and you'll also get the Utica All-in-One Food and Fun card. It'll be good for Aquavino, Babes, Taylor and the Cook, which is brand new down near the train station. 72 Tavern and Grill, the concession stands at the Adirondack Bank Center, Nexus, Cookies, Q and Creamery, the list goes on. So stand by. Congratulations, $300. Nice job.
That is awesome.
Thank you so much.
All right, stand by. Davey's got you taken care of. Davey, $300. Hobika's coming after you. I love it.
You're going to need a lawyer.
All right, so this question came out because Selena Gomez, I'm really excited about this, is going to play in a biopic portraying 11-time Grammy winner Linda Ronstadt. Both are of Mexican descent. They met at Ronstadt's house to discuss the project, and it was announced on Linda Ronstadt's social media. Here's a montage which will include the song by the Stone Ponies. Linda Ronstadt, lead singer. The song is called Different Drum. Here we go.
But I know I love you. Someone to lay down beside me. It's so easy to fall in love like a freeway. Well, that'll be the day. Tumbling night.
She had a ton of great songs. She can't. I don't know what happened. She can't sing anymore. She has a medical condition. She cannot sing anymore. But I gotta say, that's Selena Gomez. If you watch Murders in the Building,
Only Murders
in the Building.
Yes,
love that show with Martin Short and Steve Martin. Love
What
that.
a great! I mean, who would have thought the chemistry between we know that Martin Short and Steve Martin have a great chemistry, but adding Selena Gomez in the mix was really incredible, and it's an awesome show. And I'm very excited now that the writer and actor strike is over, that show should hopefully resume with a new season soon, because it was kind of a cliffhanger, as that show usually tends to end the season with.
Yeah.
That was ended there.
I really, really am with you on that. Love the series. All right, I said I was going to do this yesterday, and I think I'm going to be able to somewhat pull it off. I'm hoping, Andrew. If you're watching on YouTube, you're going to be able to see it. Let's see.
I'm monitoring it here myself now as we speak.
It looks like crap right now. Man, to get stuff to work. Okay, I think that'll work. All right, so Jon Liebing passed away.
Yes, tragically.
Last year, at the end of last year. A very good friend. There is a tribute that's going to be happening at the Stanley Theater coming up on Saturday, and I believe that's sold out. They're actually going to be playing one of a bunch of Jon's original material. My favorite song that Jon did was a Christmas song that he had dedicated to his dad. We did a music video with it at his home in front of the fireplace during a snowy day in December of 2008. This goes back to. So I'd love if I could play it for you, and we'll if you're on YouTube, you'll be able to see it. This is Jon Liebing's original, which is entitled Dancing on a Snowflake. Now, see if I can switch over to it. I think that's going to work. All right, let's make it happen. If you're listening on the radio or on the app, you'll be able to hear it. This is Jon Liebing.
This is a little Christmas wintry song I wrote. It's called Dancing on a Snowflake.
There it is, Jon Liebing, and Dancing on a Snowflake, one of my favorite songs, original songs that he did. Just an amazingly talented guy.
I mean, that guitar playing. I mean, his
It's
guitar
incredible.
playing is just amazing.
He eventually grabbed the rope.
He will actually be drawing people this weekend from all over the country. Musicians who play in legendary classic rock bands out there will be coming in here to play along with local musicians as well, playing some of his material over there at the Stanley Theater. A great tribute to the great, as I think I put on the video, and we'll post this video later on today. But most of the world will never know how great he really was. An unbelievable talent. Jon Liebing. Got a break. It's 7:54 at WIBX.
Remember the simple days of the home phone? You never misplaced that phone or lost a call because of spotty internet or bad reception. It was right there and always reliable, even in emergencies. Well, the home phone is back and better than ever with Community Phone. Community Phone offers landline home phone service starting at just $39 a month. And now get 50% off your first month when you call 1-866-714-5864. There are no contracts. You don't need internet. You can make unlimited nationwide calls, and your phone works, even if you lose power. Plus, you can keep your current phone number or get a new one. With Community Phone, you'll enjoy all the modern conveniences of caller ID, voicemail, spam call blocking, and more. Today, get 50% off your first month when you call 1-866-714-5864. Call 1-866-714-5864 today to get 50% off. 1-866-714-5864.
You've put off getting a new bed. You really want a new bed. Let's be honest, you probably need a new bed. Kevin Fear from Mattress Express, and I have the answer for you for the new year. Any purchase in the store, $1,500 or more, qualify and sign up and get up to 60 months to pay with no money down. Don't give us a nickel. You heard me right, up to 60 months to pay, no money down. That includes our full lineup of massage chairs. And yes, it includes Tempur-Pedic, Stearns & Foster, Purple, Puffy, the Smart Bed by Instant Comfort, Posh & Lavish, and more. You can get pre-qualified at mattressexpressny.com. Look for the 15-second express credit app. Stop into any store. No appointment necessary. We'd be happy to qualify you in store. And you can call 1-800-NEW-BEDS. See store for details.
Have you ever wanted to learn how to make jewelry? How about learning how to design animations or create pottery? This year, explore your future in art with Munson. Munson in downtown Utica offers courses for artists of all ages, interests, and abilities. They also feature art appreciation classes for people more interested in learning than creating. Classes for the winter-spring semester begin in January. So register now at munson.art. That's munson.art.
Hey, Fred F. Collis & Sons, heating, cooling, and insulation has you covered when it comes to winter time and summertime, of course. Right now, they want to make sure you're prepared and ready to go and that you're not leaving any money on the table. You're not wasting any money. And the way to fix this is a free energy efficiency assessment. They'll come into your home and give you that free home energy assessment where they can pinpoint energy loss, comfort issues, address possible safety concerns that you might have, all with no obligation. It's absolutely free. And all you need to do is reach out to them and say, yeah, I'd like to have that done at our home. And they really investigate. They do an incredible job. But there's no obligation at the end of the day. We had it done. And we realized we had a couple of areas in the house where we were wasting money with old light bulbs. You replace those, they draw almost nothing off your energy bill. And Collis was there to help. There were a few other things we did that helped us save money, and we actually saw the cost of our energy bill go down. Call them today, 315-768-2323. If it's heating, cooling, or insulation, it's Fred F. Collis & Sons, 315-768-2323.
WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM. This is Keeler.
Don't know if you're following along or even care, but the New England Patriots are going to have a new head coach.
They are.
They have made the announcement. I believe ESPN broke it, and now everybody's running with it. That Belichick is going to be announced out. Apparently, it was a very friendly end. I don't know if that's
maybe a mutual
possible.
decision.
Could have been mutual, I guess.
I'm sure it's possible that
if I'm him in the snow on Sunday, was that game Sunday?
Yes.
And the snow's coming down, the team's getting crushed. I'd be like, I've been doing this for way too long. I want a break. But that's not going to happen. He's probably going to be named to another team.
Yeah, and I think he probably did want to stay. He would have definitely stayed in New England had Robert Kraft allowed him to. I mean, you saw that evident in the post-game conference on Sunday where he said would you be willing to, a reporter asked, would you be willing to let go of some of the, or would you be willing to let go of some of the control that you
and he
had
said
in the
he
past?
Would. Why, I guess my question would be, he's got one more year on his contract.
Mm-hmm.
Why not let next year go?
I think that Robert Kraft is used to winning.
That much of a competitor, he's you're right.
He's
done nothing but
losing.
win. He's sick of losing.
Yeah.
Well, Davey, you want to comment on that? I can see your eyes. You're like, you can't stand him. You hate him.
I do hate him.
No, I know. I can tell. You can see it right in your eyes.
But he's going to go somewhere else.
Yeah.
A lot of people are thinking if he goes to Washington, he'll have to play his former team, the Giants, twice a year.
Yeah.
That could be a good option.
Well, it'll be interesting. That announcement coming later on today. Got a lot to get to coming up, including getting rid of your pain next hour. We'll talk about that. WIBX Utica Rome, it's 8 o'clock.
Making the case for a second term before the first 2024 contest. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News.
We're going to have the greatest economy in the world, which we don't right now.
Former President Trump at a Fox News town hall.
A guy like Biden, there's nothing he can run on. Everything he's turned out, it's turned out badly.
Including the record surge of illegal immigration, which the former president says he would fix.
We are going to have the largest deportation effort in the history of our country.
He remains the Republican frontrunner 4 days before the Iowa caucuses, and he reacted to Chris Christie dropping out of the race and what Christie was caught on mic saying about Nikki Haley.
She doesn't have what it takes. She'll be creamed in the election. And I mean, I know her very well, and I happen to believe that Chris Christie's right. That's one of the few things he's been right about, actually.
Now, Ron DeSantis also took a swipe at Haley in their debate on CNN.
Nikki Haley is basically a carbon copy of what Biden is.
Now, she called DeSantis a liar and desperate, making the case Republicans should choose her and not former President Trump.
I don't have vengeance. I don't have vendettas. I don't take things personally. For me, it's very much about no drama, no whining, and getting results.
Today, former President Trump goes back to court, though a judge in New York ruled he cannot help his lawyers give closing arguments at the Trump Organization's civil fraud trial. As Israel's war rages against Hamas in Gaza, where 23,000 Palestinians have been killed, South Africa is taking Israel to court today at the UN's International Court of Justice, accusing it of genocide.
They are killed in their homes, in places where they seek shelter, in hospitals, in schools.
Lawyer Adila Hassim opening the case. South Africa says it condemns the actions of Hamas as well. Israeli President Isaac Herzog called the accusations atrocious and preposterous.
It's Fox's Jonathan Savage. There is big news in the NFL. Bill Belichick is out in New England, leaving after 24 seasons. The last one was his worst with just 4 wins. Belichick led the Patriots, though, to 6 Super Bowl championships. America's listening to Fox News.
Go with your gut. Your dog's immune system is based in the gut. A diet lacking in nutrients can cause itching, scratching, and a weak immune system. However, there is a solution. DINOVITE. Dinovite.
It took a grand total of 2 weeks. The dog stopped itching, the hair stopped falling out.
Try Dinovite for free. Just pay shipping and handling. Learn more at dinovite.com/radio.
Happier, healthier with every bite. Over 1 million pets helped with Dinovite.
Progressive presents 10 things on a contractor's to-do list that are harder than getting a commercial auto insurance quote. Bidding a new client, giving an accurate estimate, finding affordable materials, getting a client to pay you for work you already did, getting a client to pay you, period, securing permits and workers and tools, getting those workers and tools to work together, and finding the perfect pair of overalls. Pockets, baby. But the easiest thing on a small business owner's to-do list? Seeing if you can save on commercial auto insurance. Get a quote in as little as 6 minutes at progressivecommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Coverage subject to policy terms and conditions.
Good morning, WIBX 950 News Time 8:03. I'm Andrew Domenio. 30 degrees in Marcy under cloudy skies and 19 degrees here in the studio. Your full forecast is coming up.
Said no one ever. I am freezing my tail off. I'm drowsy.
Yeah, right. No, it's keeping us awake.
Yeah. Gotta have that. You gotta have it nice and peppy. That's so a good 55 degrees in a studio. That is good for radio.
The pep is up. The pep is up.
We're pepping.
And the temperature's down. This update brought to you by the Stanley Center of the Arts, presenting Standards and Stories with Tony Danza, April 6th, 2024, at 7:30 p.m. Tickets are on sale now through Ticketmaster. A Utica woman who was one half of an altercation duo robbery at a popular clothing store back in November has been arrested, according to police. They say 20-year-old Riviera Lawrence of Utica was one of two women that were in the Sierra store on Commercial Drive in New Hartford back on November 24th, who allegedly selected a quantity of merchandise and then began to exit the store without making any attempt to pay for the items. During the course of the incident, one female, later identified as Lawrence, and a second unidentified female, began a physical altercation with store employees and fled into the parking lot with that merchandise, according to the New Hartford Police Chief Ron Fontaine. While in the parking lot, Lawrence and the second female suspect were confronted by a woman who was waiting in her vehicle in the same lot. Police say Lawrence knocked the female to the ground, and both suspects fled the premises in a vehicle with the stolen merchandise. Fontaine says the women have been charged with robbery in the second degree. The Sierra store is located on Commercial Drive. You can get more details on that story at WIBX950.com. A credit card reported stolen was used at 4 locations without the owner's permission. The Utica Police Department's Criminal Investigations Division obtained surveillance video from several of the locations where the card was used. It was determined by police the same man had made purchases at each of the respective locations. The individual in question was identified as 63-year-old Kevin Bing of Utica. On January 9th, officers took Bing into custody without issue. He's been charged with criminal possession of stolen property, identity theft, and petty larceny. The Transportation Security Administration says that fewer guns were detected at upstate New York airport security checkpoints in 2023. At Syracuse Hancock International, there were 4 firearms discovered, which was down from 6 in 2022. The TSA says it's still disappointing to see people bringing their guns to the airport and called violators careless and irresponsible. Nationwide, the TSA seized over 6,700 guns at airports last year, and roughly 93% of them were loaded. And Governor Hochul is providing New Yorkers with an update on the state's plan for a solar eclipse that's now less than 3 months away. It's good to see where the priorities are. The governor says several agencies have been working with local governments to make sure everyone has a safe and enjoyable experience. The eclipse is happening on April 8th, and the event will last over 2 hours. A website has been set up to highlight viewing locations, and that information is posted at iloveny.com/events. Right now, it's 8:06. Your weather forecast is according to Eyewitness News Chief Meteorologist Craig Flint, brought to you by Cliff's Local Market. They keep you going.
I'm Eyewitness News Chief Meteorologist Craig Flint in the WIBX Weather Center. For today, cloudy, still windy at times, light snow showers and flurries, with lake snow continuing north, a high of 38. Tonight, an isolated snow shower, but mainly snow-free, low 28. And tomorrow, mostly cloudy, dry much of the day, becoming windy late with wet snow to a wintry mix arriving by evening, a high near 40. For more on your local forecast, tune to Eyewitness News at 6 on WUTR. I'm meteorologist Craig Flint on WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM.
30 degrees under cloudy skies at 8:07. Breaking this morning, the New England Patriots and Bill Belichick are parting ways. They're expected to part ways today after a remarkable 24 seasons together. That's according to Adam Schefter and Mike Rice, excuse me. This is an end to an unmatched run in the NFL that included 6 Super Bowl titles, 9 appearances, and a very storied career for Bill Belichick in New England. Another legend that is exiting the game, well, Belichick's not exiting the game, just New England, but Nick Saban is. The Crimson Tide are losing a legend after longtime head coach Saban is retiring. He won 7 national championships during his career, 6 as the leader of the Tide. The 72-year-old just completed his 17th season at Alabama, which ended with a loss to the eventual national champs in the college football playoff semifinal at the Rose Bowl. Saban is 292-71-1 as a college head coach, ranking him 6th all-time in the FBS win column. He also spent time at Toledo, Michigan State, LSU, where he won his 7th of the 6 championships. He was also briefly the coach of the Miami Dolphins in the NFL. Another coach that is out, Pete Carroll. He will not be the coach of the Seattle Seahawks next season. The team made the announcement Wednesday, saying Carroll will have the Coughlin effect. He will remain with the organization as an advisor. Carroll had been the Seahawks head coach since 2010, winning 1 Super Bowl and 2 NFC championships. Seattle finished with a 9-8 record and was eliminated from playoff contention on the last day of the season. You are welcome, Seahawks. That was because Green Bay got the win. Syracuse Orange won last night at home. The final score there was 69-59. They now move to 11-4. They'll play North Carolina Saturday at high noon, as Smitty says. And the Buffalo Bills, Sean McDermott saying the team is banged up ahead of this weekend's big playoff game. Among the players dealing with injuries, Gabe Davis, Rasul Douglas, and Taylor Rapp. McDermott says it has not been determined if any of those players will be able to take the field when the Pittsburgh Steelers come to town to play at Highmark Stadium on Sunday. Well, this hour we will speak with Dr. Tim DelMedico. He is responsible for the Softwave tissue regeneration technology, and it's an incredible advancement offered at Revive Softwave Therapy on Genesee Street in Utica. This groundbreaking therapy is a game changer. It's non-invasive, free from pills, injections, downtime, and it works on anywhere you may have pain, whether you have plantar fasciitis, neuropathy, a knee issue, carpal tunnel, back pain, neck pain. It's so effective, it's even used by NFL teams, the Cleveland Clinic, and the Mayo Clinic. Stop going to get those expensive injections. Stop with the endless physical therapy that may not work. This cutting-edge technology is not limited to common pain areas. It addresses all sorts of issues, and it boasts an outstanding 90% success rate. How does it work? Well, a high-speed sound wave stimulates the blood flow and stem cells to the affected area, promoting natural healing. And if you've exhausted all other options in pursuit of relief, you can call Revive Softwave Therapy. Don't let pain dictate your life when there's a solution available. Reach out to Dr. Tim DelMedico at 315-725-8427, or you can visit the website and see actual video of these treatments. It's reviveutica.com. ReviveUtica.com to reclaim a life free from debilitating pain. Take that step towards a pain-free future today, and we'll speak with Dr. Tim DelMedico in studio a little later on this morning on First News with Keeler.
Also, we'll be speaking with Joe Betar, who is a new Utica Common Council member. Later on in the hour, Jon Decker talking a little sports action. Scott in Kirkville. Big Syracuse win last night. Scott, good morning.
Good morning, guys. How you doing?
They looked Syracuse looked pretty good without Mintz getting
defensively.
Without Mintz getting the start. Yeah.
Yeah, and of course Bell. Bell had a great game and stuff, and they're waiting for him to stuff. It's interesting because they're doing everything they're supposed to do as far as don't lose the teams that maybe cost them a chance to go to the tournament. They've done a great job at that, which in years past, there's always a couple hiccups. And this year, at least as of right now, they're right there. I mean, it'd be interesting because you got to watch the other conferences with all these major conferences now. I mean, to be honest with you, when Syracuse, I think they played, was it North Carolina? I think they were a 10th or 11th seed. And they call them Cinderella, but these Power 5 teams, they take so many teams now because these major mega conferences. It doesn't feel like a Cinderella when you're a 10th or 11th seed anymore.
Right,
just make the tournament and see what happens. And they're doing good. And Carolina, it's right there. I love on the road these 12 noon games because when you're on the road, you're not sitting around waiting in the in the hotel, and you're hoping the opposition, especially when they're supposed to win, are a little bit sleepy, and then the fans are sleepy. And I think 12 noons are great. I love it when SU plays Clemson in football at 12 noon. They seem to do well.
Here's a question for you. What do you think of the Belichick move?
retiring, or is that
is
this retiring, or is he going to be retiring?
Well, that's a
and
good
looking?
point. That's a good point, Scott. There's no indication what his future will hold other than the fact that he and the New England Patriots are parting ways.
Yeah.
Right. That's what it. Bill Parcells sort of did the same thing, but I don't think it's because of health reasons. But I think we all knew Bill was going to go somewhere, and basically he went to the Cowboys, and then he was actually sort of the consultant for the Dolphins for a while. He brought Paul Pasqualoni as the defensive coordinator because he was so highly with him, and brought him there. I think the hard part with Belichick is how do you plan futures? If it was a team that's ready to win now, you think he could bring everybody together, but how do you have a plan 5 years? And the only one I can see is the Chargers because they underachieved. They have at least we think he's a great quarterback, good quarterback, and they were supposed to do well and didn't do well. So maybe the Chargers, Raiders were coming on, but I think they keep Pierce. I would keep Pierce
I would
myself.
too. I would too.
And, so what's out there? I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't know what's out there that you're going to say, hey, win now.
Sure.
And of course, I think Nick Saban. It's amazing, right? I mean, icons going, and I know he was against the INL, and I think the old school coaches do. If you look at Jim Boeheim, I don't know why they ran it. It was actually a Daniel Pluff half-hour interview. It was actually in 2017 or 18. Before the suspension, but they just showed it a year ago on Fox.
Yeah,
and I don't know why they showed it, but he was dead set against paying players back then. He thought he thought basically the education and it was enough, and of course he had to change his attitude because of what happened. So, and Jay Wright, and look at Jay Wright, guys. Jay Wright just won a final championship, was in the Final Four. He walked away. So. I think all these old school coaches are just had enough, and of course Roy Williams, you knew that he had enough, and Shesky, and so basically, it's interesting. I mean, I think Nick Saban is definitely retired. I think. Yeah. I mean, why would you leave Alabama? There's no other place
Where are you going?
Go.
Yeah, where are you going?
Yeah, where are you going to go? I mean, from that standpoint.
And then there are two potential upsets. They say you can make possibly some money on this weekend. That is in the NFL. It's the Steelers. I think the line is the line is at 10 right now.
Yeah.
Ooh,
and the Green Bay Packers
at 7.5,
which I think is a far
right?
I think that's a far more appealing pick right there.
Isn't it amazing that the great Aaron Rodgers had the same situation last year, winning you're in. Sunday Night Football against the Detroit Lions and couldn't do it.
Yeah.
And lo and behold, the Green Bay Packers winning you're in. Rookie quarterback, basically.
Think about that.
They get it done. So incredibly, I'm sure for about $38 million less too, probably, right?
Yeah, right. Well, I got to tell you, again, now it's a different scenario, right? Because Aaron Rodgers was the starter up until this year. Historically very, very good against the Dallas Cowboys. And Aaron Jones averages over 100 yards per game and several touchdowns against the Cowboys, and he's the constant. So it's hard to beat Dallas at home, but the Packers have a good history against them.
Going to be interesting.
It's interesting. I feel sorry for, of course, Christine and my Dolphins, having to go to Kansas City and basically play in sub-zero temperature. And I think Tua's record, anything below 20 degrees or 30, I don't think he's ever won a game.
It's going to be cold.
The thing with this problem is, and I've said this before, his arm strength, guys. He cannot throw to the sidelines without actually basically almost like a baseball pitcher and planting. He doesn't have the arm strength just to flick it like Josh Allen.
Yeah.
And the last interception, it should have been intercepted the play before, and then all of a sudden they do the same thing on the opposite side. I'm going, you're kidding. Most of his passes he completes or have some air underneath farther downfield where the receiver's got to have a lot of window. And now you're playing Kansas City where you got to grip that ball. And
listen, going to be interesting. Okay, what's you have an NFL pick quickly for the weekend before I let you go?
Well, if there is upsets, I agree with that. I think the best game is going to be the Rams game.
Yeah.
And the Rams, everybody said that if the Rams make the playoffs, nobody wants to play them. So we're going to find out, because I don't trust Campbell. After that Dallas debacle, I mean, is he going to be kind of go nuts and take some risks where he doesn't have to? And we'll see. I mean, the receivers are real good.
Well, it's different. It's a different story when you talk about, you're already in the playoffs. I know they were competing for the 2 seed, but it's different to go and be aggressive when your season could end, as opposed to you're still in the playoffs.
Yeah.
But the interesting storyline there is going to be Stafford returning to Ford Field to play his old team.
Okay, Scott, we appreciate it, man. Thank you.
And myself. And unfortunately, maybe you guys heard, because I haven't heard it officially, but it's the tight end for Detroit was a big part of their offense.
Laporta, yeah.
Officially out. He was carted off the field last week.
I'm not sure.
Win some money this weekend, all right?
We will do that. Oh, by the way, you're talking about the turning stone. I tell you, I would highly recommend, if you like barbecues, the Tin Rooster.
That Tin Rooster is really good.
On Friday and Saturday. So get the tailgaters for 2. It's family style with all the meats and stuff. So with 2 sides.
All right. So if you don't win on his tip for a bet, you'll definitely win at the Tin Roosters. So.
Definitely.
All right, Scott. Thank you, man. Have a wonderful day. Good rest of the week. Thank you.
Tin Roosters, put that way.
All right, man. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
All right. Have a great day. Scott in Kirkville got a break coming up. Common Council member Joe Betar. We'll speak with him next on WIBX.
Hi, this is Scott Trout of Cordell & Cordell. There are a lot of great dads out there. Sometimes those dads get divorced. For more than 30 years, we have represented men in divorce, confronting the pitfalls that could devastate your finances or harm your family relationships. While every situation is different, our goal is to get the best outcome for you and your kids. Visit CordellCordell.com to take the first step.
518-554-0000. 100 Great Oaks Boulevard, Suite 110, Albany, New York, 12203. Online at CordellCordell.com.
Paid actor portrayal.
Life can be so unpredictable. After losing my dad, it made me think about my family if something were to happen to me. I had heard about life insurance through Ethos and how easy it was to get coverage. They were right. In 10 minutes, I was covered. And boom, family protected.
Ethos fast and easy online term life insurance up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at checkethos.com. That's checkethos.com.
Whitesboro Central School District is looking for bus drivers to join their team. Whitesboro is a leading school system in central New York with 7 schools, 3,100 students, and holding a 92% graduation rate. You can help drive our students' success. When you drive for Whitesboro, you get great benefits, a flexible schedule, and summers off. Perfect for retirees with extra time. Help drive our future leaders with Whitesboro Central School Transportation. Call Andy at 315-768-9740 or stop by the garage. 20 Wood Road, Whitesboro.
River Hills Properties is the #1 independent real estate agency in all of central New York. #2 if you include the big chains. And this is amazing considering 12, 13, 14 years ago it didn't exist. And it's all about the extra services provided. It's all about making and creating a comfort zone for people selling their homes, increasing the saleability of the home. Answering questions quickly because your listing agent is there every time the house is shown. That speeds up the process. Just lowering the stress level for people buying and selling makes all the difference in the world. That is the River Hills way. In Barneville, Little Falls, and Utica, online, it's riverhillspropertiesllc.com. Call 315-896-1009. Remember, nobody sells homes like River Hills Properties.
Hello, everyone in Central New York. This is Dave Letterman, your old TV pal. Remember me? I'm supposed to say something witty and funny here about Bill Keeler, but I've got nothing. Ever see a picture of this guy? That's a joke in itself. Anyhow, here's Keeler on WIBX.
All right, he is a new member of the Utica Common Council, Joe Betar, on the line now. Joseph, good morning.
Good morning. Thanks for having me today.
So you're getting your feet wet. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, it's been a great experience working with my colleagues, working with the council president, working with the mayor. I'm looking forward to the next 2 years. definitely here in the city of Utica.
What originally inspired you to run for office?
Yeah, looking back, I've always wanted to get involved in local politics. I grew up in East Utica, so, in the 4th Ward. And I always wanted to get involved growing up, in the 4th Ward. And the timing was never really there between school, college after that, then law school, starting a family. So now my wife and I have been in South Utica for about a half a decade. Everything is, established here. We're very fortunate, and it was the right time to get involved. And that's really what led me to run.
Speaking of South Utica, you have the elephant in the room, the big elephant in the room, St. E's. What do you want to see happen there?
Yeah, so, with the St. Elizabeth's project, as you mentioned, I think it's the issue in South Utica. And, based on my conversations with folks in the area and the surrounding neighborhoods between Douglas Crescent, Ballantyne, Bonnie Bray, Gear, Ferris, all in that area down there. What I would like to see based on what I have is, I think demolition is the best option at this point, whether it's a significant portion of that campus or the entire campus, excepting a few of the buildings. The main building, the parking garage. I think there's a fantastic opportunity here that's really never going to come around in our lifetime again. That original building, I think, was constructed back in 1917 or so over 100 years. Just as an idea of how long into the future we'll be dealing with the project that does go there. So we really have an opportunity to shape Genesee Street in South Utica, the main corridor to the city for the next 6, 7, maybe 8 decades. So whether it's single-family homes or a Presswick Glen type living community, I think that would be a nice match for the neighborhood. Really whatever does go there, though, I think it does have to match those surrounding neighborhoods. There's a specific type of architecture, the Olmsted architecture that is there, and I think it's important to preserve those family-friendly neighborhoods in that area.
Joseph, one of the things that I will say that I want to ask you about is you voted with your Democrat colleagues in the council to have this committee as a whole system. What went into your decision to vote that way, and what do you think is the best method for introducing legislation to the council?
Sure. So we have been hearing a lot about the two competing committee systems or committee structures, we'll say. The small committee system, where generally 4 to 5 members of the council are on a committee, versus the committee of the whole, where all 9 members sit on the committee together. Now, for me, my process, I reviewed both pieces of the proposed legislation, the committee of the whole and the smaller committee systems. I reviewed the language proposed in those pieces of legislation. I weighed the pros and cons, and after doing so, I supported voting for the committee of the whole. And I could take you through my main, highlight the thought process there. So for me, the way the small committee legislation was proposed, it calls for all new legislation to first be submitted to the president and then assigned to a specific committee by the president. And, I'll first say our president, President Girotti, has done a great job leading the council. I have tremendous respect for him. I've told him this in private conversations. What I'm talking about is purely the language I was given in the proposed small committee system. That's what I relied upon, the document I was provided. So, going back to that first portion, that all legislation must be provided to the president, I didn't see a time frame for when the legislation must be assigned to a committee, if it's a week, if it's a month. What I was given didn't have that time frame. And really, that's not a big deal for me because that's an easy fix. Yeah. You can amend that to say, all legislation must be assigned to a committee within 72 hours of receipt. So that's certainly fixable. The second portion, which committee legislation is submitted to, that was a bit more tricky for me because a lot of legislation often can involve more than one committee. It can involve, 2 or 3 committees. So my question is, can the legislation go to more than one committee? Can it go to all 3 committees? This is something I was trying to work out in my head as I was reading through the proposed small committee legislation. And finally, my biggest issue with the small committee system is this. In the city of Utica, there are often district-specific issues. East Utica or South Utica may be dealing with an issue that North or West Utica isn't facing. So let's say in the small committee system, the North Utica representative works with voters in North Utica on an issue that mainly affects North Utica, and he drafts legislation to address this mostly North Utica issue.
Yeah.
He submits it for committee assignment, and the North Utica issue deals with, let's say, finance. So it goes to the finance committee. If the representative from North Utica isn't on the finance committee, they won't even have the chance to move their own legislation through that committee. That doesn't seem fair to me that, now the South Utica and West Utica representative is on the committee that's vetting legislation that predominantly affects North Utica. And that was my big hang-up. Now we find ourselves in a situation where council members may be only drafting legislation that deals with their committee assignments. And I think as a city, we have to ask ourselves, do we want that to happen? And I think the answer is no. And with the committee of the whole, I don't see that happening.
Yep.
Now, with the committee of the whole, all members of the council, along with the council president, in the same room for committee meetings, engaging each other, working out where we disagree, finding middle ground, working as a team, working for our neighbors, and working for the city. And that's what I want to see happen. And that's certainly what I'm going to do my best to see happen on the council.
Joe Betar, thank you. Let's do it again.
I appreciate it. Thanks for taking the time.
And really quick, I'm sorry, Joe, if you're still on the line.
Oops.
This is Smitty just handed me a note from a listener that called in and said, people want to know if you are going to be more visual to constituents. I don't know if that's implying that Councilwoman Celeste Friend was not, but I'd say, what's your answer to that question?
Well, I've already been going back and forth in text messages, phone calls, Facebook messages with people in South Utica or in the city of Utica. I love to keep open lines of communication. I remain available for anyone with questions or concerns or anything that they think I can assist with. My phone number I can be reached at is 315-922-2481. If anything ever comes up where I can at least point in the right direction, I'm open to it.
All right, Joe, thank you. As we said, let's do it again. Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a great day. Joe Betar, new member of the Common Council. Sounds a little too normal to me. No.
He doesn't belong in this
I
group,
don't see it.
I'll tell you.
A couple of comments. These off YouTube this morning. What is the what Fruit Stripe is the gum that's gone.
Yeah.
They're no longer going to make it after like 54 years.
Too bad.
And Barry says this morning people are already profiting off of the gum. They're selling a package of it on eBay. Some are selling for over $20 a stick.
Get out of here.
And people are buying it.
Get out.
Barry also says, I was stationed in Korea back in the early 80s. They used to have dogs hung up in the food markets back then. Hated seeing that and glad they ended it, but they are ending it in South Korea. We had that up earlier. Jake says, Joe Coy, comedian, sells out arenas all over the world. The guy that hosted the Oscars, a relatively
Golden
Globes, a relatively unknown comedian when, if you compare it to a Chris Rock. Turns out he'll be at the Turning Stone coming up in March, and he sold out almost the entire event center. You can get tickets at Ticketmaster.com. Frank says you're talking about the CES Consumer Electronics Show in Vegas. Yeah, new products that are out there. Man, the technology world is exploding. There is so much new that is out there. And Eastern Equipment says, first Brady, now Belichick, not a great way to treat a coach that has done so much for an organization.
Well,
he had 1 year left on his contract. I feel like everything he gave to Kraft and the Patriots, they could have handled this a little differently.
Well, a lot of people say Belichick was the big reason why Brady left, and he was almost forcing him out, almost that like we need to think about the future, which I get to an extent. But I think that there's some resentment for Patriots fans because
that backfired.
Yeah, it backfired majorly.
Yeah.
And then my only thing with, there's another year in his contract, but do you want to go another year at 4 and whatever, or 3 and 12, or whatever the, I don't know how many games they play now, 17. So do you want to go 3 and 14 again?
Listen, there's a little thing called loyalty. I would think that
I agree.
Based on what he gave to the Patriots, that were not a winning program. I mean, the Patriots were not. And look at what he created.
That's true.
And you got to give him credit. You can't say, well, it was all Brady. You just, I don't buy into that. Got a break. Coming up, if you have pain, there may be a solution without surgery. And there may be a solution that we're told for some people using it right now in the area, notable people, that it has been almost miraculous. That right after the procedure, the pain was gone. Can you imagine if you're dealing with debilitating pain? We'll get into it coming up. Hold tight at WIBX.
This station is brought to you by Tallman's Tire, located in Utica, Yorkville, Rome, and Herkimer, and online at tallmanstire.com.
Ready for a smoother, safer ride? Look to Tallman's Tire and Auto Repair, your trusted tire experts. Tallman's and their professional staff is there for answers, advice, and quality tires at a great price. And right now, Tallman's, when you purchase 4 Summit tires, you'll get installation, mounting, and balancing absolutely free. Summit tires are great quality and your best value in Central New York, and free installation when you purchase 4 tires is an amazing deal. Don't miss out. This offer ends January 31st, 2024. Visit Tallman's Tire and Auto Repair in Utica, Yorkville, Rome, and Herkimer. Online at tallmanstire.com.
On behalf of IBEW Local 43 Union Electricians and Utica Contractors, we are pleased to partner with Syracuse University in providing our members with an opportunity to enhance their education at this great university.
Syracuse University's partnership with the IBEW will provide talented students the opportunity to advance their careers while shaping the future of the electrical trades and the industries they serve.
Central New York's future is bright, and the IBEW Local 43 and NECA will continue to help light, power, and grow Central New York.
Oneida County Office of Continuing Care has immediate openings for program nurses, starting at over $59,000. Nurses work a 35-hour week, conducting patient screenings and home health assessments. Join our team and make a difference. Apply today at OneidaCountyJobs.com.
Hey, at our house we have the brand new New York Sash windows. And right now there's a huge sale going on. They do it every year, and it's happening right now at New York Sash. Buy 2 New York Sash windows, get 1 free. Going on right now. For every 2 you buy, you get 1 free. Buy 4, get 2 free, etc., etc. And New York Sash has the highest quality windows you'll find in all of upstate New York. They're made specifically for our climate, our weather. Your energy bills will seriously drop. They have top-notch installation as well. The people that install are wonderful to work with, and they do just an incredible job. And you know, the New York Sash windows are backed by a lifetime warranty. If you've been putting off your window project, now's the time to do it. You will see your energy bills drop, and you will see a change in the look of your home. We put in the windows with the grids. It just gave our house an entirely different look. We love it. New York Sash, in their showroom, you can see the windows for yourself. 349 Oriskany Boulevard in Whitesboro. Open Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. till 6 p.m., Saturday 9 till 1, or visit NewYorkSash.com to take advantage of buy 2 New York Sash windows. Get 1 free. The sale going on right now.
Good morning, WIBX 950 News Time, 8:36. I'm Andrew Dominio. 31 degrees under cloudy skies. Your full weather forecast is coming up. This update brought to you by Home and Hospital Medical Supplies and Service, carrying a wide selection of home medical equipment. Call them at 315-724-6767 or visit them online at h&hmedicalny.com. The Transportation Security Administration says that fewer guns were detected at upstate New York airport security checkpoints in 2023. At Syracuse Hancock International, there were 4 firearms discovered, which was down from 6 in 2022. The TSA says it's still disappointing to see people bringing their guns to the airport and called violators careless and irresponsible. Nationwide, the TSA seized over 6,700 guns at airports last year, and roughly 93% of them were loaded. An Oswego County resident is going to be spending more than the next 11 years behind bars for having child pornography. The U.S. Attorney's Office says 40-year-old Marcus Lombardo was found to have disturbing images depicting child sexual abuse. Lombardo was already under supervision at the time. He was taken into custody because he was previously convicted of possessing child porn. Once he's released, he'll be on probation for 15 years and must continue to register as a sex offender. An upstate New York woman who was one half of an altercation duo robbery at a popular clothing store back in November has been arrested, according to police. 20-year-old Riviera Lawrence of Utica was one of two women in the Sierra store on Commercial Drive in New Hartford back on November 24th who allegedly selected a quantity of merchandise and then began to exit without making any attempt to pay for those items. During the course of the incident, one female, later identified as Lawrence, and a second unidentified female began a physical altercation with store employees and fled into the parking lot with a quantity of that merchandise. Eventually, New Hartford Police Chief Ron Fontaine says the two women were arrested and charged with robbery in the second degree. The details of this story can be found at WIBX950.com. And a credit card reported stolen was used at 4 locations without the owner's permission. The Utica Police Department's Criminal Investigations Division obtained surveillance videos from several of the locations where the card was used. It was determined by police the same man had made purchases at each of the respective locations. The individual in question was identified as 63-year-old Kevin Bing of Utica. On January 9th, officers took Bing into custody without incident. He's been charged with criminal possession of stolen property, identity theft, and petty larceny. It is 8:39. Your weather forecast is according to Eyewitness News Chief Meteorologist Craig Flint.
I'm Eyewitness News Chief Meteorologist Craig Flint in the WIBX Weather Center. For today, cloudy, still windy at times, light snow showers and flurries with lake snow continuing north, a high of 38. Tonight, an isolated snow shower, but mainly snow-free, low 28. And tomorrow, mostly cloudy, dry much of the day, becoming windy late with wet snow to a wintry mix arriving by evening, a high near 40. For more on your local forecast, tune to Eyewitness News at 6 on WTR. I'm meteorologist Craig Flint on WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM.
Cloudy skies, 31 degrees. It is 8:40.
So there is a procedure. It's soft wave tissue regeneration technology, which some here in the area are calling this a game changer when it comes to debilitating pain.
Correct.
Avoiding surgery, et cetera, et cetera. Dr. Tim DelMedico is with Revive Softwave Therapy. He is in studio coming up in a second. We'll do it, I don't know, give me 3 minutes. And we're back at WIBX.
Have you ever wanted to learn how to make jewelry? How about learning how to design animations or create pottery? This year, explore your future in art with Munson. Munson in downtown Utica offers courses for artists of all ages, interests, and abilities. They also feature art appreciation classes for people more interested in learning than creating. Classes for the winter-spring semester begin in January. So register now at munson.art. That's munson.art.
A lot goes into taking care of your property. You need equipment with more reliability and versatility built in, like Kubota BX and L-Series compact tractors, rated #1 in durability and owner experience. Z-Series mowers that deliver a quality cut, and Sidekick utility vehicles where durability meets speed. Visit your local Kubota dealer for a demo today.
Log on or give us a call today at whitesfarmsupply.com.
White's Farm Supply.
Why get an updated COVID vaccine? If you're 65 or older, a COVID vaccine can keep you out of the hospital. And if you have heart disease, a COVID vaccine can help you stay healthy. With COPD or other lung diseases, getting a COVID vaccine can keep you off a ventilator. Anyone can get severely ill from COVID. But some people are more at risk. Know your risk and make sure you're up to date on your COVID vaccine. A message from the New York State Health Department.
Hey there, it's Andrew from WIBX. If you're facing excruciating pain, whether it be carpal tunnel, knee pain, back pain, whatever it is, there is a revolutionary technology that has arrived in Utica. Forget the injections, forget surgery. Try Revive Softwave Therapy on Genesee Street in Utica. This brand new treatment will help you. It's got a 90% success rate, and it's with Dr. Tim DelMedico. For more information, visit reviveutica.com. That's reviveutica.com.
Uncertainty, the unknown. These can be some of the greatest fears people face.
there is a chance for a life of greater certainty that the Rome Rescue Mission provides. We call it a hand up, not a handout. The Rome Rescue Mission provides the basic necessities and the skills needed to start a new life. It starts simply with someone to talk to. Knowing that someone cares. The Rome Rescue Mission strives to meet basic needs, food, shelter, and clothing, but more importantly, provides emotional and spiritual support. The Rome Rescue Mission helps people start a new and promising life. Being in need is not a choice. Helping is. An unlimited future starts at the Rome Rescue Mission through your generous support. Make a difference and donate now. RomeMission.org. That's RomeMission.org. Rome Rescue Mission. A hand up, not a handout.
I'm going to talk about Ricky Z and Steve Ponte Mazda on Commercial Drive. And why are you playing that?
You know why.
I do.
Am I playing
okay.
that?
Huh?
Am I playing that?
I'm not playing it.
Who's playing it?
Right now, during Mazda's Season of Inspiration sales event at Steve Ponte Mazda on Commercial Drive in Yorkville, Ricky Z says, come in and take advantage of... I just don't understand the Pink Panther theme, to be honest. Ricky Z says, take advantage of the 0% APR financing up to 60 months on all new 2024 CX-5s from Mazda. It's Mazda's way of saying thank you for an incredibly successful year. I'm making it work, though. And we've increased our inventory, says Rick. So take advantage of Mazda's 0% special offer. See the dealership for details. See Steve Ponte Mazda for details. Are you playing this, Davey? Is that, huh? Are you sure? People can't see him, but
people can't see on the radio, but he's...
No, I'm not playing it.
That's what I'm hearing. Something. Can you hear it?
Yeah, I hear it, but I'm not playing it.
Rick says, let's make your deal on a Mazda from the dealership that's achieved first place nationally. I don't believe you. First place nationally in customer satisfaction. It's Ricky Z and Steve Ponte Mazda. I love my CX-90. Almost don't even use gas driving back and forth from work. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, because you have the plug-in option.
Yeah. Where it's easy to do business. Steve Ponte Mazda, Commercial Drive in Yorkville.
WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM. This is Keeler.
All right, here we go. How are you? In studio right now is Dr. Tim DelMedico. Good morning.
How you doing, Bill?
Wonderful. And, you know, one of the things that people have to deal with, and you never know when it's going to happen, is pain.
Right.
And there's nothing more horrific than pain that won't go away.
That is true.
Yeah, you can't sleep, you can't eat,
I can always eat if I'm in pain. Just
all right. Andrew can eat.
But other things are very difficult.
In pain. Andrew eats so much he causes pain.
Well, that's what it is.
Yeah.
My joints, my knees and stuff, yeah.
But you have a technique, a procedure. What would we call it?
It's actually a technology.
Okay.
It's a special machine that uses 3,000 mile an hour sound waves to make blood flow and stem cells go to wherever we use the machine.
Okay. And tell me about the success that you've had.
So we started this like a year and a half ago. The machine's made in Germany, and they've had success overseas for 7 or 8 years. This is pretty new here in the United States. I'd say like the last 2 years or so.
Yeah.
But we've had it in our office probably the last year and a half, and we have seen hundreds of people so far with all different conditions. A lot up for surgery, a lot of chronic conditions, knee problems, bone-on-bone stuff in the knees. This machine has a real high affinity for knee issues. Excuse me. Also, low back, we use it for hips. We use it for TMJ. We use it for carpal tunnel. Basically, any joint you can use it on.
Okay. And so, how long is the procedure? How does it actually work?
It's pretty quick. It's a non-invasive procedure, which is pretty revolutionary because in the past you have to actually have stem cells injected, either your own stem cells harvested, or you can actually get other people's stem cells injected. So this doesn't.
That's not a pain-free process. Right?
No, they actually have to tap into your bone marrow of a long bone. extract that bone marrow, put it in a centrifuge, spin it down, and then they take the stem cells and inject them into your knees or back, whatever.
Yeah.
This does it non-invasively. So basically, we use this machine, which creates microtrauma at the cellular level, and it actually makes your brain think you have an acute problem there, and it sends stem cells to the area. And of course, stem cells are your body's like supernatural healing cells, so it will help heal pretty much whatever's going on in that area.
Would this be something that is considered using technology to perform an osteopathic?
No, I wouldn't say that. It's strictly, there's no manipulations or anything like that. I am a chiropractor, but this is not a chiropractic machine. This was devised by medical doctors and PhDs in Germany, and it basically uses just sound waves. It's high-speed sound waves. It actually hurts a little bit when we do it, and like I said, it tricks your brain into essentially thinking like we're sawing your leg off.
And I guess, oh, wow.
Yeah.
Well, and I compare it to osteopathy because that is the somehow manipulating your body to work to heal itself and improve your situation. This kind of is doing that, but doing it with a technology.
Similar, but chiropractic and osteopathy are more of a structural approach. A force is needed to like move bones, basically, and move parts of your anatomy. This just gets inflammation out of there and brings stem cells to the area to heal in that way.
How much does insurance cover it? All of that stuff.
Insurance does not cover it yet. It's pretty new here in the U.S. It does have 5 FDA clearances, so it should be covered at some point, but it's not yet.
Okay.
A typical treatment is we range from like $90 to $150 depending on how many waves we use because it's by the wave. Like a low back has more surface area, so that would be a little bit more. A typical knee is we'd use about 300 waves. That's about $90 in our office.
Okay.
So, but to get to the point of, a lot of people may say, come on, 90% effective. There's probably a little bit of initial skepticism, but you've had some success stories, and we've kind of teased it a little bit this morning.
Yeah.
There's one individual that is very well known in the area that has used this technology and has had great success about it. Can you share who that is and maybe the success story that he's had?
For sure. So Rob Esche, the owner of the Comets, came in. He had some pretty bad hockey injuries over the years as a goalie. So he was actually up for another, I believe, hip surgery. But he came in, we treated his knee and his hip. His testimonial is actually on my website. If you go to reviveutica.com, he calls it a game changer. And after the first visit, the treatment takes about, 3 to 5 minutes per area. So after 3 or 5 minutes of us treating him, he got off the table. He took a few steps, and he was just like, oh, my God. He's like, why hasn't anyone told me about this?
Yeah.
It was a total, he was in awe. He actually said, on that first visit, he says, I'm calling New Jersey, and I'm actually going to they have to get this stem cell machine, this Softwave machine for our players. So I thought that was pretty powerful. And, of course, since then, we've had hundreds of people with the same type of successes.
And then you said to Rob, no, just have me do it. You don't need to.
Send them down here, send them over to the office.
Right?
It's fine.
Okay, how do people reach out to you to take advantage of this and all of that?
Sure. So we actually have 3 locations now. We have a Utica office, a Rome office, and a Herkimer office. And all 3 appointments can be booked on, if you go to reviveutica.com, you can actually request an appointment at either of those 3 offices. You can also call our main number in Utica, which is 315-725-8427. And we also have Facebook page. We have YouTube, pretty much all the different social medias as well for Revive.
And if you see Rob today, stop him and say, what do you think? How do you feel?
Yeah, I will do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm saying anybody should do that. If they're walking down and see Rob on the street, hey, how you feeling?
He has actually sent in quite a few people. He's been probably our best referrer since that day. So, yeah, we love Rob for sure.
Okay. You can only imagine what kind of damage he did to his body crouched down all of those years. He started playing hockey when he was a kid.
A lot of goalies do. They go into that butterfly type pose, and it just wears out cartilage, which you can actually rebuild with this technology.
We have the same issue that I have the same issue that Rob has, except mine is in my jaw. So much movement of the jaw.
A lot of talking.
It's terrible. Overeating and over talking. Those two issues just kills the jaw. All right, good stuff, Doc. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me,
We
guys.
appreciate it. I know that Andrew's been talking about it, and
I'm very excited about this. Yes.
Very excited about it as
Awesome.
well. All right, we're going to wrap up the program here now. Jon Decker is the Chief Whitehouse Correspondent with Gray TV, and John is on the line right now. Good morning, John. Good morning.
Hey, good morning to you, Bill. Hope you're doing well, having a good week. It's been such a busy week.
Wow.
And next week will be busy as well with the Iowa caucus taking place on Monday. I'll be in Iowa for that. But it's been a busy week with Donald Trump here in Washington, D.C. earlier in the week for that immunity hearing before the D.C. Circuit Court of Appeals.
So which is it? I've been seeing two different reports. Number one is the former president said, I've decided not to give the closing arguments or to get up on the stand. With my wife's mother dying, I've decided not to do it. And then in another story, it says the judge completely changed the decision and decided there will not be that testimony. Which is it?
Well, I think what happened here, there was a negotiated back and forth between the lawyers for Donald Trump and the judge, Judge Arthur Engron, who's presiding over this civil fraud trial. And what was being negotiated were the terms upon which, the parameters upon which Donald Trump could deliver remarks at these closing arguments. The judge said, look, you have to stick on topic. It can't be a campaign speech. You can't use this time to bash me and bash my law clerk and bash the Attorney General of the state of New York. And what the lawyers for Donald Trump said is, we're fine with that. The problem is we cannot guarantee that our client, Donald Trump, will abide by the parameters of what you're setting. And for that reason, the judge said, fine, then we won't have Donald Trump speak at the closing arguments today. And so that is the reason why Donald Trump will be there to view his lawyers make these closing arguments, but he will not be making any comments himself.
Are there any odds out there that that the former president will still make a few comments while seated there?
Not while seated, but you know that in this Manhattan courthouse, he makes remarks while he's outside of the courtroom, on the same floor, just before heading in to the hearing, and he can certainly make remarks upon leaving that courtroom as well. And I would certainly bet that Donald Trump does just that. There are cameras there awaiting for that, and Judge Engron was asked if cameras could be permitted in the courtroom for these closing arguments. He denied that request. He did say the cameras could come in and just shoot the beginning part of the hearing before anything officially occurs. That means getting video of Donald Trump seated at the defense table and also the prosecutors being seated at their prosecutor's table as well. But that's it. There will be no video in terms of what is said during these closing arguments.
While I had COVID and was stuck in the basement from Christmas till New Year's, I watched.
Welcome back.
Welcome back. I'm glad to be back. I watched a lot of TV, and one that I did get into was the production that CNN did on Watergate that included John Dean, and the comparison that he makes from what went on during Watergate and what has gone on during the Trump administration. Fair comparison, you think?
He would know best because he lived through it, and he was a valued member of the Nixon administration. Richard Nixon is in the news this week because his name was invoked during that immunity hearing. One reason why is the judge, one of the three judges who will be weighing in on whether or not Donald Trump is entitled to absolute immunity, brought up the idea, why would Richard Nixon, the former president, accept a presidential pardon unless he was concerned about being prosecuted for criminal violations? That's a very good
That's
question.
a great point. Yeah.
If he felt he was immune from criminal prosecution, there'd be no reason for a presidential pardon. So that's a good argument to make, and it was made indeed during that hour and 15-minute long hearing earlier this week.
And furthermore, would President Ford have given the pardon if there wasn't a reason to give it?
That's right.
Yeah,
that's
interesting.
Exactly right. Yeah, so I don't think it's a good argument that was made by the lawyers for Donald Trump, the lawyer arguing the case for Donald Trump. I do believe that the three-judge panel will rule against Donald Trump, affirm the ruling by the federal district court judge who initially decided that Donald Trump does not have this absolute immunity, and then it will likely or could be decided by the U.S. Supreme Court if they take up this matter. It takes 4 justices to say, we want to hear this case. We want to weigh in on this case, and we'll see whether the Supreme Court wants to do just that.
And if they decide not to weigh in, they would accept the lower court's decision.
That's right. Then the decision by the D.C. Circuit Court of Appeals would remain in place, and that means that if that occurs, then that March 4th trial date that Judge Chutkan has set, that likely would remain in place, and we could see that criminal trial against Donald Trump for election interference happen in less than 2 months' time. I think that particular case could last 4 to 6 weeks, and with under the rules that exist, under the rules of criminal procedure that exist, Donald Trump as a defendant would have to be in the courtroom every day of that trial.
Wow. Going to be interesting. And then speaking about being in the courtroom, or in this case in front of Congress, Hunter Biden making a surprise appearance.
It was a surprise appearance, a surprise, unexpected appearance by Hunter Biden and his lawyer. And what happened at the end of the day, the House Oversight Committee, the House Judiciary Committee, they each voted along party lines to hold Hunter Biden in contempt of Congress. It will now be voted on by the full House of Representatives.
Yeah.
If every Republican is unified, they stick together, then you'll see a referral of a contempt of Congress charge sent to the Department of Justice, and then, Bill, it will be up to the DOJ to decide whether or not to prosecute Hunter Biden for contempt of Congress for not showing up for that subpoena to appear before the House Judiciary Committee, a sworn deposition behind closed doors. That was supposed to happen in mid-December.
We'll do it again next week. John, thank you so much. We appreciate it. Have a great week.
You too, Bill. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.
Thank you. WIBX Utica Rome, it is 9 o'clock.
Fox News.
You have a man who can't lead. You have a man who can't find his way off a stage after he makes a speech that lasts for about 2 minutes.
And he told a Fox News town hall.
The new narrative they have, as you know, is I'm going to be a dictator. That's going to be the new narrative because a guy like Biden, there's nothing he can run on.
The former president told voters in Iowa before Monday's caucuses he'd rebuild the economy, secure the border, build more wall, and there would be mass deportations of illegal migrants.
Many of those people come from jails and prisons. Many of those people come from mental institutions and insane asylums, and many of those people are terrorists.
Now, they debated on CNN also as rivals. Nikki Haley. Ron DeSantis took swipes at the former president, who's the front runner, and each other.
I debated the governor of California, Gavin Newsom. I thought he lied a lot. Nikki Haley gives him a run for his money, and she may even be more liberal than Gavin Newsom is.
You can go to DeSantisLies.com and look at all of those. There's at least 24 lies that he's told about me.
They debated hours after Chris Christie dropped out of the race. Now, the former president will soon return to court in New York, but the judge of the Trump Organization civil fraud trial won't let him help lawyers give him closing arguments. A Trump Truth Social post calls it a rigged case and election interference. Also today, Hunter Biden will be arraigned on 9 federal tax charges. We just got an update on inflation, showing consumer prices rose more than predicted in December.
Last month, the headline year over year was 3.1%. It's now 3.4%. Month over month, also hotter than expected, up 0.3%.
Fox Business Network Cheryl Casoni. The coach, some call the GOAT, is out of a job.
Arguably the greatest coach in NFL history, Bill Belichick, is leaving his job as head coach of the New England Patriots.